And we should be live. Hello, everybody. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome. Today, happy Saturday. We're going to play some Visions of Mana. Now, I did get a code for this. I have to start that stream with this. And I have a pretty interesting history with the Mana series. So, when I was a kid, I got Visions or Children of Mana on the DS. And now I was a kid, so I didn't really know what was going on. But I remember really enjoying the game, even though I found it extremely difficult. The art was just absolutely fantastic. And there was just something so charming about the game that I loved back then. And then as I grew up, I just never really heard about the Mana series for a long time. And then eventually the remake of Children of Mana came out. Or not Children of Mana, Secret of Mana came out. And I was kind of excited for it, and I got it. And obviously, you know, that remake looked very ugly, and the one thing that this whole series has going for itself is that all the art style is gorgeous. Even Trials of Mana, which is a remake of a game, looks fantastic. This game looks absolutely fantastic as well. And that's the one thing that this series had going for it. It had that very polished aesthetic. It always looked and ran really well. And Visions or Secret of Mana, the remake, looked terrible. So even at that, I don't remember really enjoying the story because I just got bored. The combat was boring. And then when you've no sort of like visual eye candy to keep you going, then, you know, let's be real, why would you bother playing any more of it? And then Trials of Mana came out, which, let me just I'm pretty sure Trials of Mana was a remake of a
Visions of Mana.
A mobile port release. It is a 3D remake of the 1995 Super Famicom title. Okay, yeah. So that was a remake of a SNES title. And yes, I do pronounce it SNES. And they updated it, gave voice acting, you know, full 3D models. The game looked brilliant and it ran really well. But it's almost like they they kept the core of the 1995 game and didn't adapt it at all. So it felt like, it looked like a 2020 game or whenever it came out, but it felt like a 1995 game. There just wasn't any substance to any of it. So I made a very clever video back in the day, one of my first on this channel, called Trials of Meh-na, M-E-H-N-A, as in Trials of Meh-na, because the game was just kind of meh. I just gave up on it. I think I got like halfway through and I was like, look, I think I'm done with this game. It doesn't really inspire anything in me. So when Visions of Mana was announced, I thought, oh, this is a chance. This is a chance for this series to finally redeem itself and, you know, take this series into the modern day, give it some more bells and whistles to make the upgrade loop better, to make the combat system more, you know, interactive, whereas with Trials of Mana, it was just mash a button and win. The game wasn't even very difficult, even on hard mode. So that's what this whole stream is about. I've already played the opening just to get to the part where I can explore the world. The opening is quite annoying and tedious, but, you know, it sets certain things up. So I'm going to play a couple of hours of this game. And the whole reason why this is called Visions of Mana do it, I'm going to keep calling it Trials of Mana, is because will it finally give me a way to experience this series and actually get into it in a way that I want to, instead of, you know, almost forcing myself to do it the way I felt like I have done in the other Mana games. So, once again, I did get a code for this, but, you know, do with that what you will. All my opinions are my own opinion. So, I got my yerba mate here. Yes, I am a big hipster. This is not in a gourd because mine wasn't clean. I have my straw too. Very tasty. So, as you can see, and we'll have to sort out the audio balance and all that. As you can see here, this game looks absolutely phenomenal. It runs brilliantly. It looks brilliant. The character, like, look how detailed all the character models are. This game is absolutely gorgeous. And that was the thing with Trials of Mana, is that with Trials of Mana, I couldn't fault it from that standpoint. It looked good, it ran good, it felt good, kind of like but there was just no substance to it after that. And we'll see if it evolves after. But like right now, you know, it's all just very basic stuff. We have a couple of spells. Well, actually no, we only have one spell. I assume I will be able to take control of my other party members at some point. I hope. And also, this is definitely more. I did read something. I've stayed away from reviews and all that. I have seen the headlines and what it got on Metacritic and all that. But, you know, we like to give games a fair shake on this channel. And I saw something about the, I think it was the director of the game or something, and he basically said that they took inspiration from Xenoblade in making their open world, which I think is a, if you are sort of making an RPG, Xenoblade's a pretty good one to follow, open world wise, because it's brilliant. Now, sadly, and probably unsurprisingly, maybe, I don't know if this series is actually very popular. It looks like the studio that made this game were shut down the day of release, or that's what the reports were saying, which is you know, it's a shame. It's very sad seeing all these developers getting chopped up and all that, but unfortunately, I don't know. It's just these games are just so expensive, and even it's weird because even I assume the team is Japanese because this is published by Square Enix. Let me actually look this up here. Let's do some research as we go along. Oyuka, however you pronounce that. Let's see. Yeah, it says it's reported. So, Chinese video game company NetEase has reportedly laid off most staff at Visions of Mana developer Oyuka Studios with plans to shut it down altogether. So, I mean, they report on it. It doesn't say that it like 100% happened, but you know, wouldn't surprise me given how the gaming industry is going this year. And I don't know. It's just it's in a weird stage where there's so many games out there now where, like, 15 years ago, if you made a good game, more than likely it would have got picked up, you know, and people would have seen it and it would have found its audience. But now there's just so many good games coming out at all times that you're vying for people's, yeah, you're vying for their money, which is obviously like it is literally the currency, but you're also vying for people's time, and time, let's be real, is more precious than money, because you can earn more money, can't earn more time. And it's like when there's just so many games coming out, like even if you stuck to one genre, oh, what are these? That looks like a collectible I can get later on, but I can't get it right now. Like if you even look at sort of Japanese RPGs and Japanese action RPGs, like the same kind of people that would be interested in this would be interested in Grand Blue Fantasy. They would be interested in Final Fantasy VII Remake or Rebirth. They'd be interested in Infinite Wealth. They'd be interested in Persona 3 Reload. They'll be interested in Metaphor ReFantasio, which is out very soon. And it's like, not only are all them games, let's say 60, 70 euro each, it's like, who's going to have the time to play these games? Like, I'm somebody who, as of, well, you know, I'm looking for a job now, but like as of not too long ago, this was my full-time thing. And it's kind of like, if I struggle to play all these games, how is somebody who's working 40 hours a week at a normal job where playing games isn't part of it going to be able to play all these games? So there's just too much going on. And then like that's only taken in if you literally, the only thing you do on your spare time is play games. And I know a lot of people do that, but the majority of people will have, I don't know, they have kids to look after, they'll want to go out with their friends, they might play a sport, they might do a different hobby like art or pottery or something, you know, and they just don't have the time. Salamander. Okay, so I can lock on. It seems either these guys are just have a lot of, I don't know if I'm just not dealing the right damage type to them or something. But I should probably just kind of go ahead, because I assume I'll start to unlock more stuff. Yeah, definitely. One thing this game does, and I'll be able to point it out maybe if we get to like a more story section and this less open section. Every single Japanese game, like Japanese RPG, is guilty of this. Like, it's just every single one of them is, you know, when you're walking around a sort of important story part of the game, there will be an objective 50 meters in front of you, and then when you walk to that objective, you get a cutscene, and then you might get a battle or something. And then when you come out of that cutscene or battle, there's another checkpoint like 50 meters in front of you, and then you walk to that, and then you get another cutscene, and then after that cutscene, there's another objective 70 meters in front of you. And So many Japanese RPGs do it, and I don't understand why. It just makes no sense. It's like, why wouldn't you just put...
These ruins are left over from
Oh, that's a
ancient
level
times.
51 goblin. We ain't going in there.
Used to
Like, why
live
don't you just put those two cutscenes together, you know, and save
Thousands of years ago,
time?
maybe. But now they're big old monster dens. Prepare for a fight if you want to venture inside.
Yeah, we can't be killing them.
Come at me!
They are level 50, and I am level 3. See, now if I remember correctly from Trials of Mana, that was sort of missing combos. Like, there's some combos here, but I don't think Trials of Mana had any. They might have had like a launch combo, but it's not like any other sort of action game, which I think is what games like this sort of need to kind of, you know, give you something to think about as you're fighting, or like a stagger system, or like a weakness system, which this could have. Maybe it just hasn't introduced to me yet, but we'll see.
We've gotten pretty far from home.
We have. So far, the voice acting
Does
isn't
Dorfer seem more active to you?
awful.
I think so.
What was that prophecy of disaster?
I actually think I will make my face just very slightly smaller here.
Don't worry, Dorfer will probably settle down after I fulfilled my duty as the Alm.
You there! Watch out for falling debris from the volcano. Try and stay under the boulders to keep out of the way. Follow my lead.
Okay, so he's significant to the story because you play as him in the tutorial section, this dude here. Again, I didn't show the first, like,
Oh, there.
30, 40 minutes of the game, but...
The name's Orin. I came to study the geological composition of this area, but... You two seem surprisingly calm in the face of an active volcano.
Well, I mean, yes?
This kind of thing is common in our area. I'm guessing this is your first volcanic rain, then.
First and hopefully last. I jumped out of my skin.
You came all this way to look at the terrain? Is there something strange about the soil here?
Yeah, the soil's a lot softer and more pliable than what I'm used to. We don't have volcanoes in my hometown. If you don't mind my asking, what are you two doing out here?
We're exploring.
I was just named the Alm of Fire.
An alm, huh? That must make you the soul guard.
And these alms are like people that have to
Sure you're up to
go
the
to the
job?
monastery. Ah, welcome, Moog.
Look like a pushover.
Everything's
but I
going
was
good
the
here. How are you?
strongest swordsman in our village by far.
Pushover? Give me a break.
Any interest in this game, Moog?
What? It was a compliment.
I can't believe I'm
Quite
talking
the
to
happy
D
couple.
Moog,
You sure you
the
want
guy
to
that I
this?
absolutely destroyed in Elden Ring
Together after
because
we reach the
I
mana tree,
was
yeah.
severely overleveled when I got to fight him.
We can't not go to the mana
I
tree.
just used Malekith's
It's the duty of
L2
the alms to rejuvenate the
blade
flow of
thing and
mana
just
by
destroyed him,
sacrificing
and it
their
was
souls.
fantastic.
There's nothing else to be done if we want a future for humanity. Plus, I'm the Soul Guard, and proud of it too. It's my mission to see the alms safely to their destination.
You must really like the world we live in to fight so hard to keep it this way.
I do.
Of course, we gotta protect the spirits and all our family and friends. This world is all we've got.
You sound like it's not the same for you, Orin.
Me? Well, it's hard to say. Still, I'm glad to have met you both.
Welcome, SD. I assume you mean humble because I said how good I am at Elden Ring and how I
Okay,
killed
we'll give
Moog.
it a
Is that what
rest.
you're referring to?
Probably not safe to
If
leave just
so,
yet. We
I
can
will
camp
not
together here
say
if
that
you
was a
want.
brag. It's
You have
a
a
I
point.
was
Doesn't
over
look
leveled
like
and he was
Dorfer
easy.
is going to stop for a while.
Okay.
It's getting worse. What a nightmare. If only this volcano weren't here.
Oh yeah, I forgot Black Ops. Well, no, I didn't
Though
forget.
Dorfer
I
Volcano may
saw.
seem like a dangerous ice
Moog, how do you
volcano,
get into the Black Ops beta? Is it free?
Volcanoes have been brought up in its shadow since
I think-
infancy. To us, the volcano's presence is as normal as the air we breathe. We never questioned its existence.
Oh, you have to
or pushed it
pre-order. I'm
back.
sure I could probably buy a code, but
Why would we?
oh yeah, it's €5 for a code, but I don't really care. Well, that's what Moog. Yeah, Moog is. He is the actual boss.
Wait a minute.
It's him.
Where's Orin?
He's coming back. He's gonna kill me or
Not
something.
here.
Yeah,
Everyone
'cause I
must have said
saw-
that already.
I saw some gameplay, Moog,
Look,
And I used to be very... Now, I'm still quite good at shooters. But Black Ops 3 was my jam. I won't brag, but I was... Yeah, I was good at that game.
We'll pay him back when we see him next.
There's very few games I'm very good at. Black Ops 3 was one of them. And that movement was insane, and I loved it, but it took me a long time to get good at it. And now that I'm watching that omnidirectional movement, and I'm seeing people do all the... Oh, I don't know. I won't be able to keep up with that.
Not all Gaians lived in Guju, you know?
Guess so. I hope Liza's
Not all
doing
Gaians
okay.
lived in Guju. There we go. We learned something new today. What is this? Valor flies. Oh, valor flies. The shimmering scarlet butterflies you may spot fluttering around are known as valor flies. They double the amount of
I
XP.
feel like I
Nice.
can take anything on. Come at me! One left. Feeling good.
On a random side note for your streaming, have you ever heard of a term audio ducking? Yeah, is that when you have like a noise gate set on your microphone and then it clips? It like is that what it is? If so, is that happening? Because so the problem is, if that is happening, SD, I factory reset my PC, so a lot of the settings are all over the place. I might have to like, let's see, is it? No, it's not. Yeah. Am I planning on streaming Black Myth again? Maybe. If I'm being honest, Moog, I've kind of given up on that game, and I just don't think it's for me. I'm on chapter 4, and I'm just like, a lot of the boss fights are really good. I will say, I really enjoy the boss fights, but sometimes they give you too many boss fights in like such a short time, so it feels like a boss rush game, which is not what I want. And then they give you exploration of areas, and the only way I can explain this, Moog, is that, so I find it really difficult to know where I can and where I can't go in Black Myth. And what I would say is, like, it's almost like they took a photorealistic picture and sort of scan of a 3D environment. Like, imagine the snowy mountain of chapter 3, okay? So you basically, it's like they took a 3D map of a snowy mountain and printed it into the game and didn't have any regard for actually making a level out of it. So some areas look like, oh, I can go there, but then you can't. Other areas are like, I can't go there, but then you can. And it's like every single path that you take leads to 4 or 5 different areas. So it's like, you will get a bonfire, there will be 2 paths. Each one of them paths have 2 more ways to go. So then all of a sudden you have 4 different ways to go instead of 2. And yeah, I don't know. I just think the level design isn't very good. That, well, SD, I really appreciate that. Where you set the certain threshold of your mic to lower it so you can have your game audio loud for everyone to hear at your mic. Ah, yes, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yes, SD, that would actually be very useful if you could pop a thing in the Discord. And if anyone here isn't already in the Discord, there is a link in the description if you want to pop in for a bit of a. We mostly chat about games. Sometimes we chat about other things. And there's a YouTube advice channel for any YouTubers as well that we use to sort of, because we have a couple of YouTubers in it where we speak to each other about different things that we found that worked and didn't work and all that. So if you're interested in that, the Discord is there.
Got some syrup.
I got some grizzly syrup.
Yes.
Also, SD, have you played a Kimbot? For anybody that doesn't know, a Kimbot is a Ratchet and Clank-like game, which I believe is probably the first I've ever seen. I got a code for it. Played the first couple of levels. I'm not loving it so far. It stutters a lot on PS5. It has awful screen tear, which just, you know, that's a massive strike against the game. But I don't know, it just doesn't inspire much in me. Nemesis is either that or they just they kind of misspelled Nemesis, or they're trying to come up with their own clever way, but we're calling them Nemesises. Are foes that are considerably stronger and more menacing. Cool. Yeah, I'm actually, like, I'm really disappointed in Akimbo. I was very excited for it, if I'm being honest. Okay, my camera is not locking on here. Let's just throw fireballs at him. I did start Akimbo. I got this same kind of feeling. Yeah, I'm very disappointed in it. I was really looking forward to it. Because it is genuinely, I think, the first Ratchet-like I've ever seen. Any interest in Outlaws? I thought it doesn't look as if it was made out before it released. Yes. With Outlaws... See, I assumed with Outlaws we were going to get like this... Oh yeah, it's going to be a Ubisoft game and you'll have different outposts to do. And you'll be able to go in and stealth and shoot things. But apparently, like, almost all of the gameplay sections are just stealth sections. And you're really weak. You can't actually... Like, you do have a gun that can deal some sort of damage, but it's not like an out-and-out sort of... like, action game the way other Ubisoft games are. Which... I think on the surface could probably be interesting, but from what I've seen, it's not executed very well. I've heard the sort of Star Warsiness of it is really good, and like exploring the world in your ship is great, and you can actually get in, like go on a planet, hop on a speeder, get into your ship, fly out into orbit, and then to another planet without having to go into a loading screen. Starfield. But the thing is with Ubisoft games, Moog, is that unless it's like something that I'm really interested in, which doesn't happen very often with Ubisoft, I just give it till about Christmas, because there's usually a Ubisoft game that comes out in like, you know, September, October, November, around that time, and by Christmas that game will be like €30, so then I just buy it then. I did the same with Avatar last year, because the thing is with a lot of the Ubisoft games, I rarely actually finish them. I start them, I go in, I play them for 10-ish, 15 hours. I had enough of it at that stage, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, I'll just dip. And then because I only spent, say, €30 on it, I don't feel stung. It's like I know what I'm getting, whereas if I was paying €80. And if anybody hasn't heard, if you got the early access version of Star Wars Outlaws, which was like €100 or something, your save file, they released a new update, which meant that you had to restart the game. So you basically spent an extra, I think it's €30 over the base price, so it actually might be €110. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. But it's more money anyway. It's €20 or €30 extra. And you actually got punished and had to change your save, which is absolutely ridiculous. I felt bad for feeling that way since it's an indie game, but Ratchet & Clank is decades of development and innovation, to be fair. Kimbot doesn't seem to have the platformer part of a platform shooter. Yeah, and it doesn't seem to have any like proper weapon upgrades. Like the combat feels very inconsequential in it, SD. Almost like you're just doing it because the enemies are there, not because you're working towards like upgrading a weapon or anything like that. Why can't someone just make a Skyrim like on Star Wars universe, make your own character and stuff? Well, I think that would just make too much sense, Moog.
There's something strange about this butterfly.
One thing I think I've realized is that a lot of people that come up with these ideas, or greenlit these ideas, should I say, aren't very smart and do not know anything about games. I mean, just take like, well, yeah, I was just going to say take Suicide Squad. Like, that was, as much as I had fun with Suicide Squad, I liked the base game. From a sort of idea standpoint, there are better ideas that they could have come up with, but somebody obviously greenlit it because they liked the sound, or maybe pressured them into doing it or something, you know. And yeah, SD, I do remember that with Suicide Squad. Now, I got Suicide Squad, I think a day into the early access period, and it was fine. I'd never had any server issues, but I know for day one people, you know, that was a big problem. Okay, what do we...
Got some syrup.
What does grizzly syrup do? Also, if you're enjoying the stream, I'd appreciate if you gave it a like, please and thank you. And we'll maybe get hooked on this game and realize that it's going to be great. But so far, this is feeling very... I know this is obviously the start, but it is feeling like just very basic.
They weren't so tough.
It's just been more disappointing since you last played it. You have no idea. Mrs. Freeze is a lot of fun, but all the actual story happens in the Codex audio files now in Episode 3. There was a bug that got rid of everyone's Codex. Nice. Yeah, well, that was the problem with the Joker update on it, SD, where it was like, once you unlock the Joker, he's such a fun character to use. It was like, oh yeah, you can do all these different builds with him. But you've already just grinded for 10 or, what was it?
Yes.
Was it 5 to 10 hours or something to unlock him? And then all you get to do is do the exact same missions that you just did, but now do it as a Joker. It's like, ah.
This should be the last of them. You're just what I need. Easy.
You sure made quick
Now, I think
work
we
of
all
that.
know that the next best thing on the game of the year for this year is going to be Astro Bot. I cannot wait for that game. I'm actually working on a video for Retribution
This is
about
some rare item.
about the... Oh, I found a weapon. About the sort of the old style of Sony platformers like Ape Escape and Tearaway and Little Big Planet and Ratchet and Clank and just them sort of games and how special they are. And I mean, I think Astro Bot's going to be just a love letter to all of that.
Thank you, mighty Soul Guard.
Okay, so it's actually probably worth my while picking up these chests. Like, if we're going back to the topic of sort of, like, studios and studio heads just sort of making, Jeez, this game is absolutely beautiful, oh my god. Like, making weird decisions.
Got some syrup.
Like, when it comes to Concord, I'm enjoying Concord. I actually think it's a great game. Obviously, the character designs aren't great. But, like, when it comes to Concord, apparently that game's been in development for 8 years now. We don't know how true that is. So that means the game started development as Overwatch came out. So it was obviously a sort of, oh, we want to make our own Overwatch. But just think of that from a decision standpoint. When people were working on that, did they think it was going to take them 8 years? Because if they knew that it was going to take that long, then that was an awful decision, because you cannot predict what's going to be popular in 8 years. If something like Concord maybe came out 4 years ago, it probably would be in a completely different situation, because people would be like, oh, this is Sony's Overwatch, and, you know, we have this, that, and the other, whereas now we've been through a load of Overwatch clones and bad hero shooters, and we're kind of sick of it now. Like, you have to move on from that.
This is kind of exciting. Nice.
Yeah, like, well, obviously, Overwatch has fallen off. I still really enjoy it, though. I play it very
Wait a
often.
sec, Hina. Be careful. There are a ton of monsters over there.
Oh, it looks like an ambush.
We're trespassing on their territory. We gotta get past somehow. You ready?
Yep, I'm here to help.
Wait, do we get to, like, stealth?
Here they come.
Oh, class strikes are powerful attacks that you can use in battle by consuming your accumulated CS. Time to accumulate some CS. Physical damage dealt by your weapons can be one of two types, slash or strike. In addition there, okay, cool. Yeah, cool. Very basic, yeah. Yeah. I was hoping I was getting more action abilities there, but
We did it.
Good thing, too. The village would be in quite a pickle if we were taken out as we set off on our journey.
Come on. Don't jinx it, Hina. You're making me nervous after the fact, and the monsters are already gone.
that was not a glitch by
Not to
the
worry.
capture card. That was just a
Every
glitch on
confidence in
the
you.
actual
We've been
cutscene.
training for this for years. Now then, escort away, my dear Soul Guard.
But of course, your alminess.
Oh no. No, 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 no. That sent a shiver. Oh no. That sent a very uncomfortable shiver down my spine. I did not like that. I did not like that at all. What is Tearaway retro? I think my hands just turned to dust suggesting that. No, Tearaway isn't retro, Tater, or SD, but I don't really mind covering the likes of 3DS and PS Vita on Retribution because it's more like I'm going to cover Astrobot on Retribution. Obviously, Astrobot is not a retro game, but I think it just sort of,
Do you think the Alm of Wind will be like?
I think it just sort of fits in with the channel. Like, people who are interested in retro and retro PlayStation will be interested in Astrobot. So, you know, kind of, I don't mind making exceptions. I was going to cover a Kimbot on the channel as well because, like, it's a Ratchet-like, so that sort of makes sense.
Different here. Almost like it's passing right through me. Clothes and everything.
Wow. We're not at city level now, that's for sure.
Jesus Christ, this game is absolutely beautiful. This is insane.
I think that's Mount Gala in the distance.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Now I hope I kind of get a mount, a choblin, a chobin, a chob.
Fireball. This should be the last of them. Just what I need. Take this.
Take that. Cool.
I guess this means I've improved. Yes.
So did anybody try get Oasis tickets today? I don't know if they're on sale wherever you are. But the Dublin tickets sold out in about, God knows, minutes, seconds, whatever it was very quick. Not that I was even trying for tickets. I was trying for tickets for other people. So I can give them to them.
This should be the last of them.
Because I'm not a big Oasis fan. I like Oasis. I like a couple of their songs, but
Is there an entrance to that tower-looking thing over there?
Can't you feel it? It's like the air is alive with wind spirits in there. I hope we learn more about those structures on our trip.
God, these don't shut up, do they? Don't want to be mean. A Tanguin oh my God, I can't. Tanguin Matsutaken.
Salamander.
See, these sorts of games, when I think of a game like this, I'm reminded of something like Ni no Kuni 2. And I enjoyed Ni no Kuni 2, and it still did have a lot of the charm that the first one did, but obviously it was missing out on the sort of Studio Ghibli stuff that it had in it. So that's what I kind of take from these sorts of games, where like, yeah, they're fun, pretty basic action RPGs, and that's it. Good old salamander. I don't want to get poisoned. Okay, I will kill this guy in about 5 minutes here.
Take this.
The elements are with you.
I do actually wonder if they ever did something like this, but in the Final Fantasy universe, how it would fare. Like, it's the exact same as this, very cartoony. But I know some people probably have nostalgia and like the sort of... I like the enemy designs of this game, but like, you know, if I was fighting a Cactuar here or, you know, something from Final Fantasy, it would feel that bit more special. And that's why something like Strangers of Paradise, that was one of the reasons why I love that game so much. Many reasons why I actually like that game. I think that game is criminally underrated. Isn't that what 9 or 12 is? I haven't played either, but are kind of... Yeah, no, 12 isn't cartoony. 12 is very, like, is sort of realistic the way they went. And 9 does have a bit, like, a more of a sort of colourful, cartoony aesthetic. But I mean, as an action RPG, you know? I actually think 9 might actually work in this sort of a style. But apparently they are working on a 9 remake, which I'm very excited for, because I do enjoy the old like Final Fantasy 7 and 9, but playing them nowadays, I don't know. The gameplay, even with the improvements that you get with like the speed up and you can turn off some encounters, I just think the gameplay hasn't really aged very well in those older games. And if anything, I think the SNES ones age better. Because they're on a more, like an older, more primitive console, it kind of feels at home there, if you get me. Kind of hard to explain. Now, Final Fantasy X and 12 hold up really well nowadays. 12 specifically, I think 12 is, again, a criminally underrated game. And at some point I will cover it. What are these things? See, there's probably all this crap that I'm missing out on that I can't interact with, and I'll have to come back and explore later. Do I have any, like, upgrades that I can do? No, is there... Actually. This is pretty interesting. Oh, I don't know how the co-op works in Strangers of Paradise SD. I don't know if it's... like lobby-based where you can actually just play the whole game together, or if it's kind of a bit more, you know, soulsy bullshit. But I mean, it would be very fun with another person. I mean, any game is going to be better with a person, unless that game then runs at like 4 frames a second because you have the extra person. But okay, I need to stop getting distracted, because I'm going to get distracted, not learn anything about the game, and then be like, oh, I think I'm done with it. It's kind of boring. Because that's a problem with it. Like, I think Trials of Mana was the same, if I remember. Where with Trials of Mana, the combat was like very boring, and then you unlocked like extra specialization, and then it like took off a bit more. But then after a few hours of having that specialization, it was all just the same thing over and over again. Because like there's all that sort of stuff that I can't interact with yet. So I'm probably just better off going ahead, because I will eventually unlock something that will, you know, oh, now you can go back to these statues and do this or whatever. Yes. Can I? Oh, I can fire mid-air. Nice. So I think on my radar for the rest of the year, and obviously chat, let me know what you... I always find it weird calling it chat. I know that's just what people do on streams, but it just feels weird. People watching me, whoever you are. Just like on my radar for the rest of the year, Space Marine, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 is out next week. I'm hoping I'll get a code. I won't buy it if I don't get a code, because I'm just not in the spot to be able to buy all these games right now. So that is one game that I'd really like to play, because I loved the first Space Marine. What a game. And it was kind of like a special game for me, because it was when I started to really get into games, and like I was watching loads of Total Biscuit, and he was praising the game, and I bought it because of him, and I loved it. I had a great time, and it kind of it reminds me of the time when I started to really branch out in my games. I know like Space Marines is you know, it's just a gory third-person shooter, so it's not, you know, it's not too different to the other stuff that I would have played already, but just even as going into a different franchise, it was cool. And then I think Silent Hill 2 was definitely up there. We'll see if my bowels can handle that, because I will probably crap myself. And Dragon Age, and then Astrobot. I think they're the ones. Yeah, now I haven't played 9 in years, but I do love 9. I much prefer 9. Now, again, I haven't played 9 in years, so, you know, this could change, but I've always preferred 9 over 7, because I just prefer the more sort of fantasy, steampunky, you know, that sort of, or is it like cloud punk or something, that kind of Final Fantasy, over the, I don't know, what do you even call Final Fantasy 7? Like, what is that setting? But I've always preferred fantasy stuff. And it's weird, like, literally everything. I'm not really a massive fan of sci-fi. You know, I've always preferred Lord of the Rings over Star Wars, and even though Star Wars is basically fantasy, you know, it's just wizards with laser swords, but they're basically just wizards. They're not like, you know, Star Wars isn't this like, I don't know, like Star Wars and Mass Effect are completely different kinds of sci-fi.
Hey, come on, Ramco.
Yes, Ramco.
What's this?
Grunge?
Got wind energy
Yeah,
inside
maybe
it.
like,
Oh, I know.
I don't know what. I don't. Let me actually see if there's a name for this.
They say that the mana goddess bequeathed the vessels unto a great hero in order to aid him on his quest. Apparently, they're quite
This is
powerful.
all very typical fantasy stuff,
I
isn't it?
shouldn't throw around a sacred artifact.
Intruders!
No, wait. Maybe they're the Alm and Soul Guard.
What? Already?
That's right. I am the Alm of
Some
Fire,
people here
and
saying
this is-
cyberpunk,
He's my soul.
magitech,
Is this yours? Try not to leave
industrial
an important thing
sci-fi,
like this behind, okay?
arcane punk,
Oh, no.
diesel
The
punk,
intruders
like,
found out we took the boomerang without asking.
No, wait. This is our chance. If a Soul Guard returns it, the chief won't get mad.
Aha! No one would question the Soul Guard. You two can play with the boomerang all you want. Just put it back when you're done.
will do. I used to love Star Wars, but they've ruined it the last 10 years. I mean,
And I guess I was
I think
using
the
it
main thing
correctly
they did
after
to
all.
Star Wars, and I'm not like,
Let's
I
get
like
this
Star
thing back
Wars, I
as
like the
safe as
movies,
we
I'll
can.
play the games and stuff, but I'm not like one of
Sure.
these massive
You can
Star
return
Wars
the
fans where it's like
boomerang
my
and level it
everything.
up with the Alm of Wind.
I just think the thing they did, and Disney are doing it with everything, they just run it into the ground and it's not as special anymore. Like when
So these vessels belong
when
to a hero
the
who got them
prequels
from
came
the
out,
goddess?
that was special. I
Good
was
care of them
obviously a
will live
kid.
longer than that.
Like, I was 7 when Revenge of the Sith came out, but I remember it and I loved it. And then we went like years upon years. We got the Clone Wars cartoons and that's it. I'm pretty sure. If that I knew of anyway. I'm sure there might have been other stuff. And then you get the odd game. But now it's just like, everything is Star Wars. There's a new TV show every year. There's a new season of this. There's 2 new movies. There's 8 new movies in the works. There's 4 different games. 2 of them live service shooters. There's, you know, this single player game. We're working on this. You know, it's just everywhere, and it just kind of, you know, absence makes the heart grow fonder, as they say, and that's definitely true. And I mean, it's probably one of the reasons why I like Lord of the Rings so much, because I know we got Rings of Power now and we're getting War of the Rohirrim, but you know, when you get a Lord of the Rings game, it's a special occasion. Even though last year we got Lord of the Rings Gollum, I mean that was special for another reason, not the good one. It was just special because it was so bad. But you know, we don't get Lord of the Rings games very often. Like, we're getting that Shire game, the sort of Animal Crossing-y looking one that I'm actually interested in and I will play. But oh shit, no, they're level 50 run. So you know, it's just more special than when you're getting it every fucking 2 minutes. They get a new game, and here's the new TV show. Welcome to Star Wars Disney,
They're everywhere.
whatever
People of the
this
vale use
is.
the northern winds that
Oh,
blow year-round
crap.
to power them.
Arlo's chewing up a
These
package. I
spin
better run.
thread and make
Oh.
fabrics. One of their traditional techniques actually dyes the cloth those bright colors. The book I read called it wind dyeing. It's famous.
Wow. I hope we can watch them at work.
I'm back. Arlo did not manage to rip up the package. I was quick. Yeah, the Hobbit game does look cool. Yeah, it's exactly what happened to Marvel. Welcome to this Marvel event. Today we're going to give you the roadmap of what Marvel's going to be for the next 42 years. Do you know what's so depressing? Insomniac are getting wrapped up in that Marvel machine. And yeah, I like Spider-Man, I really do. Spider-Man's a cool character, cool games. But it's very depressing that a studio... Now, I'm sure, you know, I know they're working on another Ratchet game that's going to be like their
This might be useful.
sort of Ratchet's last swan song kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, that's cool. But what do they do after that? Are they only making Wolverine and Spider-Man and then they're going to move on to a fucking Doctor Strange game? And it's like, What did you think of Spider-Man? I assume that says 2. The little heart thing is covering it. Let me pop out the chat. Yeah, Spider-Man 2, I loved it. Again, I just think they're very... They're very safe games. In... Like, I think Spider-Man 1 and 2 are better games than Sunset Overdrive. But I would much rather play Sunset Overdrive because it just feels a bit more unique, and I think that's Insomniac at their best when they're doing their own stuff, you know?
This might be useful.
And yeah, that's why I am. That's just why I'm disappointed with it, with sort of this whole, oh, we're going to be doing Spider-Man and Wolverine. And because I think I actually said this a while ago, where outside of a few Sony games, like I love PlayStation, I always have, and hopefully I always will if they keep making good games. But when it comes to like a new PlayStation game, they're so safe that you know you will have a good time, and I'm excited for them. But I'm not excited outside of, let's say, something like Astrobot now. I'm so excited for that game because that's like, you know, a bit more of a riskier game. It's a bit more unique. So I'm really excited for that. But when it comes to like a new God of War, even though I love God of War, or a new Spider-Man, or a new... Well, I think Naughty Dog are different because Naughty Dog are different gravy. But it's like they're known quantities, you know? They're just known quantities, and you know you will always get a high quality experience and it will be good. But like, I'm way more excited for Dragon Age Veilguard as I ever would be for any of the current Sony first party games. I'd be really excited for Housemarque's next game because they are fantastic and they're one of the ones that are actually doing something unique in Sony's first party. Obviously I'm really excited for Astrobot, but like, you know,
I'm pretty sure it's the name of the elemental of wind.
like Ghost of Tsushima 2, it's going to be more Ghost of Tsushima. It'll be a great game, but it's going to be more Ghost of Tsushima, you know?
They watch over the land, rarely interfering with the people who inhabit it.
So, you're saying that he probably...
Yeah, see, that's the problem with Ratchet. They never really sold well enough, even though it's one of my favourite series of all time. I adore Sly and Infamous, but Ghost of Tsushima put SP on the map. Yeah, it did. And, like, I was late to the Sucker Punch train. But Sucker Punch are, like, so good. It's crazy how good their games are. I feel that way with Bethesda these days. I know I'll enjoy their games, but they'll never blow me away. See, I'm actually different, where when Starfield was coming out, I was insanely excited for that game because we hadn't seen a real Bethesda game in years. So you're thinking, oh, what can they do? And unfortunately, I think I only beat Starfield. I'm working on a video now. It'll come out before the DLC. I think Starfield has their best story by a long shot. Like, the stories in Fallout and Skyrim and Oblivion and all that, they weren't really amazing. Starfield's story, and don't spoil it in the chat or anything, is fantastic. But then all the fast traveling really ruins it. Like, it doesn't feel like a connected world. You know, there's just so many problems in that aspect that I think it overall ruins it and makes it a worse experience than the rest of their games. Longren, the Veil of Wind.
Dragonfolk can live to be pretty old, right?
Do you think the new Alm of Wind could be a senior?
I think
citizen
Dragonfolk
program?
can live to
Don't
be
worry.
quite old. There you
I'll
go.
carry them to the mana tree on my back if I gotta.
What a fine, upstanding soul guard you make.
Let's rest up.
It's weird that all the chests are marked on the map in this game, you know? All those little blue things are... Oh, actually, you can't see the map. I'd probably be better off... Actually, let me just move my face down here a bit. Yeah, I think there is probably a good spot. Because then you can see the map and stuff. Yeah, that's better. yeah, we won't see Fallout for a long time unless, I don't know, somehow Obsidian are working on one, or In Exile or one of them, but I don't think that's happening. But I will be very excited for the next Fallout and the next Elder Scrolls. See, I wonder if
Yes.
their plan with the next Elder Scrolls, and I would love to see this, is if they made it so that you can go to the whole of Tamriel
This is kind of exciting.
in the one game. And like the thing is, I think almost every single situation, I want a smaller game.
Taking this.
I want fewer quests. I want fewer areas. I want
Got some
that sort, like, you know, keep it contained, and then you can make higher quality stuff. But I think for a Bethesda game,
Let me see.
for what Bethesda is, it kind of makes sense for them to lean into sort of like, okay, we want to be this sort of game. You know, leave the... And that's my struggle with Starfield. It's like, the story and how you interact with the stories
Taking this.
kind of feel... or the story in Starfield and how you interact with the story feels like a BioWare game, where it is very small contained areas, you're doing a fair bit of fast travel, but
Taking this.
you're kind of getting good choice and consequence, you're getting good conversations between the characters and stuff like that, and that's what BioWare give you. I'm playing Dragon Age Origins right now, and I fucking love that game, and oh, what a game. But then, with Starfield, they obviously gave you, like, the 1,000 planets and all this stuff, which is really cool, but you can't travel to them. I think if Bethesda gave us the exact same system where you have all these planets to travel to, but you can get in your ship and fly into orbit and then touch back down on a different planet, it would make the game feel so much different, but it doesn't. And I understand there's probably technical limitations on that, and that's totally fair. But if there are that many technical limitations, then maybe don't make 1,000 planets and put all that extra time that you put into optimizing that part and put it into being able to fly like in No Man's Sky or something.
Kind of exciting. This might be useful.
But see, that's the thing with Naughty Dog. Like, I like how... And I really don't know what to make of that statement. You know, when they came out and said the reason why we're cancelling Factions is because we would have had to pivot our whole studio to support it. And maybe that is true. Like, the more I think about it, I think it is true, because at first I kind of didn't really believe. I thought it was kind of a bit bullshit. But
Let me see.
if that, let's say that isn't true and they just, something fell through, or maybe that whole thing about Bungie saying that the game won't be viable was like, they actually said that, and, you know, Bungie are an absolute disaster right now. But, like, how do Sony release Concord and think Concord is a good idea? Again, I'm somebody who enjoyed Concord, but you could see from the marketing nobody gave a flying fuck about that game. So how do they release Concord and somehow stop the development of The Last of Us Factions, which I can guarantee would have gotten an audience, and a fairly large audience at that?
This might be useful.
Just makes no sense to me. I would love to see Naughty Dog make... And I know I've heard people say this, oh, it's such a waste of Naughty Dog. They're this amazing studio that make all these
Yes.
fantastic games, and they do. But I would love to see Naughty Dog try their hand at like a narrative platformer. Like something like Psychonauts, where they lean really heavy into the narrative. And I mean, it's Naughty Dog, and I know it's a different studio now, but I trust them to be able to make a really, really good platformer as well. And then, like, go completely in on the narrative and make it really deep. Because I'd love to see somebody have the balls to try that, but I don't think it would happen.
Some syrup.
Let me see.
Could also be that Naughty Dog is a higher pedigree, pun intended, to say Sony, like, hey, we'll be stuck with this game if we release it and might not do well. I think we should move on. Maybe. That's the thing with this whole stuff about potentially Bungie saying that it wasn't viable. If Naughty Dog came to that conclusion, then more power to them. But Also, if they came to that conclusion, it's kind of a bit of a fuck up on the management side, because why would they try develop a live service game if they didn't fully understand the sort of risks in how much time and effort it would take to keep supporting it? Like, surely that's something that they should have factored in before they even started thinking about it, you know?
I'm Val, the Soul Guard. I came across your elemental vessel and wanted to return it.
Gracious! I was wondering where Ramco and the little ones spirited that away to. Thank you. Those youngins will get an earful later, but enough about that. Welcome to Longren, friends.
A pleasure.
Yeah, I'd love
So
to see
where
them
might
make
we
a,
find the
a game
Elm of
without
Wind?
guns too.
On that subject, I have some.
I mean, it's literally, yeah, Jack and Daxter was the last game they made with guns. Jack and Daxter probably... No, Crash 1 didn't have a gun. Crash 2 didn't. Crash 3
You're
did,
still
though.
waiting to see who gets the job?
Crash Team Racing technically has guns.
We welcome the fairy with a traditional wind dyeing ceremony, as performed by one of our wind oracles. But this year, our attempts at the ritual have been. There is one oracle,
Karina.
whose attunement.
Cool.
At this rate, I fear that without.
Okay, so we're looking for the wind elemental woman.
Sadly,
She looks like she's gonna have a very annoying and off-putting baby voice. Because there was a character in Trials of Mana that did the same, and I hated her.
Feels like it. But now that you have arrived, Sir Soulguard, there may be a chance to get her to see reason. I humbly beseech you to talk to.
What?
Perhaps if she is buffeted by a breath of fresh air, she may yet bend to the winds of.
You mean use the vessel to literally knock some sense into her?
Surely a precious artifact should be handled delicately.
Okay, her voice acting isn't
These
good.
days, the elemental vessel is scarcely used as more than a child's plaything. I am certain that a soul god would have much better applications for such an object. Come, if the fairy is not properly welcomed, it could be the end of the veil as we know it.
I will. Well, Karina's gonna join our party because I picked up a spear. Well, and yes, SD, that's the thing. It's like,
Cut out for me this time.
you think a lot of these people in these positions know what they're doing, but I
Now's
think
your time to shine,
a lot of the time, like, how, like, I'm gonna just keep bringing back to Concord because this is the game that's on my mind. It's like, Concord is a very good shooter. I love it from a gameplay perspective. The map design's pretty good. Gunplay, characters, like the character movesets are fun. And some of the character designs are good, as I said in my video. But how did somebody, the creative lead or the lead of that studio, sit down and say, yes, all of these character designs are good enough to go into our game, throw them in. And they somehow ran with it. And they managed to make, I think there's 16 characters, and maybe 4 or 5 of them are good designs, and the rest of them are just so bland and boring, and there's no personality. Like, I was playing Deadlock there, that new Valve game. The amount of personality in every single one of them characters is insane. There's one guy that has like a fedora, he has suspenders on, he has a red shirt, and he shoots fire bullets from his fingers like that. Like, that's just so cool. Like, that's how you design a character. And Concord does have a couple of characters that are really cool, but the rest of them are so bland.
You folks in the habit of staring at strangers? What is it? Are you selling something? Find somewhere else to hawk your wares.
Are you by any chance Karina, the Wind Oracle? I'm Hina, the Alma Fire. And this is...
Val, the Soul Guard. Nice to meet you.
What's the convoy of alms want with me? No, let me guess. The chief sent you to convince me to do the wind dyeing, right?
Well, yeah, actually. In Tiania, we build a ceremonial bonfire to celebrate the fairy's arrival. Longren has different traditions, though, right?
The chief thinks sending outsiders to do his dirty work is gonna make me budge. Well, he's got another thing coming. Nope, never again.
But if the fairy doesn't come, no one can be named the Alm of Wind. For the sake of Longren and the rest of the world, would you please consider performing the wind dyeing ceremony?
Yes, let's do the wind ceremony.
Ask a stranger for a favor. I'll tell you what. You can find Shiryu for me.
Shiryu? I'm guessing they're a friend.
He's dreamy about the...
Oh,
me. He's nowhere near.
Gee, thanks. Well, Hina,
Cool. Kind of miss the times when online modes were extra modes to the fuller game. I do too. And Tater, or SD. I'm pretty sure Warhammer 40k Space Marines 2 has that, because the first one had a multiplayer mode, like a tacked on multiplayer mode, and I had a lot of fun with it. And like, I wonder what Concord could have been if they did that, you know? If they created a mode. Like, what Concord is now was just a multiplayer mode, you know? That was built onto a, I don't know, it could have been a PvE horde shooter, where you got to learn the characters better, or it could have been a full single-player campaign with all these different characters, and maybe that's how you could sort of eventually launch it into a game that people would care about the characters and all that, but obviously that didn't work. Ooh. Oh, so I can buy, like, different weapons. Oh, that's cool. Let's buy a Falx. Says I can't equip it, though. Oh, so there's different classes. Okay. I like that. Job systems are, that's a way to bring me into a game. I know I have over 1,000 hours in the Last of Us Factions, but doubt I would have tried it if it was a separate purchase. Yeah, exactly. And the Last of Us Factions is so good. That's why I'm so disappointed. The fact that that game got cancelled, because like if Naughty Dog could make a mode like that so good as a tack-on multiplayer mode, imagine what they could have done if it was a full game. And especially with the more robust mechanics of The Last of Us Part 2. That would have been... Oh. Like, I really think Sony could have had... Like, I really, really think if they had released that game, they could have made, like, a top 10 concurrent shooter, you know? Like, obviously, it wouldn't beat out CS2 and, you know, might end up beating out Overwatch. Because Overwatch player base is still very good, but it's obviously dwindling compared to what it used to be. And all that. But, like, it would probably be in the top 10, you know? I actually haven't played the extra mode in The Last of Us 2 yet. The roguelike, which is strange because that is something that would be right up my alley.
I'll take you all on. Fireball. Come at me. Just what I need.
Yeah, well, that's why, and I didn't get around to it because
You were nothing but hot air.
Ghost of Tsushima just came out at a bad time, so I actually need to, whenever Tsushima 2 gets announced, I'll go back and I'll do a video on it, you know?
Grizzly.
But, like, that's why, what was it called?
Yes.
Ghost of Tsushima Legends? Was that what it was called? That was just, like, it's such a cool mode. You just don't see developers doing that sort of stuff anymore. And apparently it was unbelievable. And I wonder if they're gonna do another one for Ghost of Tsushima 2, or maybe make it a bit more of a fleshed out mode. Another tacked-on multiplayer mode that I really liked was actually Dragon Age Inquisitions, because that combat system was very fun, and playing that with a friend and going through like these levels where there's bosses and stuff. Oh, I just loved it so much.
Hello there. Shiryu, I presume?
That's me. And you are?
Val, the Soul Guard. And this is Hina, the Alma Fire.
Oh, Val, Hina. Lovely to meet you. I'm Shiryu, a historian and keeper of tales from the Vale.
What are you doing so far outside of Longren?
Calibrating windmills, actually. The wind's been hard to predict lately, which...
Speaking of alms, Karina said she'd help call the fairy with some wind dyeing if we found you for her.
She did, huh? I guess she came around to the idea after all.
Is the dyeing process hard or something?
Not particularly. As long as you know the steps, that is. You just capture the breeze with the cloth to bring out the colored dye. The issue is that the fairy won't come for just any old round of wind dyeing. Karina has the
I
most
had to
skill
Google
in
who
water,
Iroh or
so she
Ero
has the
was.
best chance of summoning her.
Then
I've never actually
why is she
seen
so averse to
Avatar.
Because Karina wants...
Well, I've seen a couple of episodes when it was on
She wants to be
Nickelodeon back in the
chosen
day, but
as the Alma.
never properly
All she's ever
got
heard
into it.
from the rest of the Vale is that she's wrong for the job. And yet, they keep asking her to help with the wind dyeing.
It wouldn't surprise me if the fairy was staying away on purpose to avoid these hypocrites.
But why would Karina be a bad choice of Alm?
Did she pick a fight with the elemental or something?
That's a good one. But nothing that scandalous, I promise.
I
But
don't know
it's
what that message is, but welcome to the stream.
too complicated to bother you
If-
both with right now.
This is
Besides,
Square Enix. This is
I
Square
know
Enix. Yes, it
Karina
is.
wants the Veil to prosper, just like everyone else. And it looks like you're... Anyway, I'll head back to the Veil for...
Wait, this is a side quest. Can I just dash in there? Oh yeah, you can. Arlo, would you shut up crying? Please. Just stop. You're just moaning for nothing.
I told you, the more you yell at me, the less I want to have anything to do.
Yeah, cool. Now you've got stubborn.
Didn't you?
We can't keep wasting the alm's time with your selfishness. You're putting the whole Vale in danger with your temper tantrum.
If you want to meet the fairy so bad, then you do the ceremony. Why does it always have to be me, anyway? It's not like I have a chance at becoming the alm. Y'all made that abundantly clear. You think I'll just go along and do all the hard work for...
Pouting about it won't help your case.
I'm not pouting. I just wanted to be the alm.
Honey, we know it's hard for you to accept, but it's been years since an-
Sure, your affinity to the wind element meant you had a good chance at the gig. But after what you did in the sanctum?
Fine. Criticize me all you want, but
SD, don't worry. I'm
How
not one of them
irresponsible.
people. I
The other wind oracles don't
watch
cause
more
their parents
animated.
this much
I've
trouble.
watched more animated films in
But if we don't
my
push her,
lifetime
the
than
fairy
any
might
other
not
type of
visit
film.
Longren at all.
And I've been with my girlfriend
Sure
now
you
for,
can
well,
talk some
my
sense into
fiance
her.
for 8.5 years. And I'd say I could probably count on one hand how many non-animated films we went to see in the cinema.
Let's plan our next move.
So yeah, animation is where my favorite form of movies, and especially with what you call it, the new, I know it's claymation. I know, well, it's still animation, but it's just a different form of animation. With the claymate or with the new Wallace and Gromit movie coming to Netflix, I cannot wait. It looks better in the overworld, but the cutscenes look a bit minimalist. Yeah, they do. I mean,
thanks for
some
finding something for me.
some of the levels or the open world sections look absolutely beautiful in this game, like unbelievable. But I guess a lot of the I mean, the character models are really nice and really colorful, but like, you know, stuff like these animations and the cutscenes and the mouth moving, they're obviously fairly low quality and stuff.
Karina, don't forget. There's that old saying about the disaster.
Oh yeah, I
before
cannot
the
wait for that
triumph of
word,
all is
Rohirrim.
chosen. The wind will rage, and the winged fall flightless.
We're too old for fairy tales, Shiryu. Besides, the wind is always blowing here.
Maybe the proverb isn't meant for dragon folk. Ramco has wings too.
Fine. But I don't have to be the one to do it. No one in town even cares who does the wind eyeing, and I wouldn't do it even if they begged. Why bother? It's not like the fairy would ever pick me to be the alm anyway.
I have an idea. Val, why don't you do the wind?
I'll do the wind dying. Woo!
Anyone is allowed to use the technique. And besides, it never hurts to have a breath of...
The chief said something similar.
Good luck. You'll need it. I think I'll just stay. Yeah. Look,
Cool. Let me go do the wind dying thing. This is a just a very slow start to this game.
It's up to me to perform the ceremony. And
Do you guys remember the Lotra animated film from the 70s? That was a trip. I actually do. What was that?
All right, we'll take turns.
What's it? Is it rank and pass? Is that what it's called? Oh, rank in, but see, I've never actually seen that. Oh wait, no, am I thinking of a different one? There was another animated Lord of the Rings one, wasn't it? Oh, that was a... yeah, I actually don't know. I don't know which one I've watched. I'd have to watch clips of it to know. Yeah, no, I think I will. I do love me some Lord of the Rings. There were two, The Hobbit and Lord covered the first two books. It's all hand drawn, yeah. Yeah, that was it's so interesting how good 2D animation holds up, you know? It's crazy when you go back. Like, you watch something like Snow White or any of them old Disney cartoons, and they just look so good even to this day. And you can just see that. I understand people pour over 3D animation, and 3D animation nowadays looks fantastic. But, like, you go and watch the original Toy Story, and that film is absolutely fantastic. But watching it nowadays is, you know, it's pretty rough. And I would actually, you know, Disney are kind of, you know, just re-releasing stuff and all that. But, and I know this would take a lot of time and it would cost a lot of money. But I would honestly love if Pixar went back and remade a lot of their old movies. Like, even the original Finding Nemo, like that film still looks pretty good. But that compared to Finding Dory, I think if you just re-released Finding Nemo and, you know, brought the animation up to style, or up to the time, I think it would have been... Oh, I would absolutely love it. There's an airy passage, but I'm honestly not too familiar with the lay of the land. If you happen to find a spot in the painting, please let me know. Cool. Find Keshi's later. Find some mushroom finger fungi. Hand over the replacement parts to the windmill makers, 2 apprentices. Okay, let's go and actually do this quest thing.
Taking this. Grizzly.
Yeah, grizzly syrup. What a weird name for an item.
You are here for the wind dying?
Yes.
Forgive me, it is a complicated process. Even oracles in training have trouble with the steps.
Well, someone's gotta try. What was it? Breath of fresh air and all that?
Oh, look.
What's a rep?
She's not a what? She's a sacred beast.
She's a sacred
Her ilk
beast.
usually resides in the... When Karina was training in the sanctum...
She suffered a grave injury. Okay, cool. Be sorry, save it back home.
The two have been like sisters,
Okay, cool.
nigh inseparable.
Cool, they like each other,
has been
Karina.
so preoccupied with Shiryu recently that she and Oh, please excuse my rambling.
Yeah.
You can...
I can do it, Val. Go, Val. Do it. Summon the fairy. I feel like there would 100% be a market for films made with hand-drawn and rotoscope today. As AI gets more and more powerful, I bet that market will just get bigger. See, that's the thing. When I... my whole thoughts on the AI stuff is... I think you're missing something if you have hand-drawn animation and it's not actually hand-drawn. Like, it looks like hand-drawn animation and technically it is. If that's what you're talking about, but it's made by AI, it's like... Part of the reason why something like Cuphead is... I think you can make the argument that Cuphead is the greatest looking game ever made. But part of the reason why Cuphead is so impressive is because you knew that there was a human just meticulously drawing every single frame of animation and how much time and dedication and skill that took. And that's what makes Cuphead so special. And I'm pretty sure there was a Cuphead-like game that came out that looked exactly like Cuphead, but it wasn't hand-drawn. And the fact that Cuphead, or the fact that
Best dyer in the
Cuphead was hand drawn is the reason why people are so interested in it. Okay, I understand. Yeah,
How it's really done.
yeah.
Right, that
Because that, I mean, that's what's happening. Like I'm 26 now, so that's what is happening with my generation, where for my parents' generation, it was like everything was uniform, and the big companies were making everything, and it's kind of like, you know, it's funny. It's funny because of how sort of poignant the message in Stardew Valley is. I don't know if anyone's played Stardew Valley, but it's about this little town that's sort of this, you know, the guy that owns a shop, and he owns a chemist, and he owns a pub. It's a small town, and Jojo Mart come in, who are basically Walmart, and they outprice everybody, and people start to shop there, and you're kind of evil if you shop there. And that's kind of what's happening, what happened to like people of my age, where we're going to the small bakery to get bread. Now, obviously, if you have the money. Right now, I don't, because I don't have money at all. But like, you know, if I can, I will try to support the small shop. I will try to support the small business. Whereas it seems like my parents' generation, they sort of got, like, they were enamored by the fact that everything was so cheap, and oh look, this is here and this is here. We could buy this in Tesco, we could buy this in Dunn's, like these sort of supermarkets, and we could buy all that. And now my generation is kind of reeling that back in sort of, no, I'd much rather support the smaller business, or go to that small bakery, or go to that small corner shop, or something like that. And I will forever be anti-AI in anything artistic. I don't mind it as a sort of tool to speed up mechanical processes. So, you know, like combing through a game for bugs, an AI could do that. And unfortunately, robots will replace human jobs, and that's just going to be what life will be like for a lot of people as the years go on. I mean, like, look at self-checkouts and whatever that have taken so many jobs from people, but unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. But AI creating art, it's like the reason why the art's so good is because a person did it. The reason why it's so impressive that somebody sings and plays a guitar at such a high standard is because there's a human behind it doing it. It's not because there's a robot. If I do a complex sum completely in my head, that's impressive because I'm smart, and not me, I'm stupid when it comes to maths, but a human is smart and can do it. But if you just put it all into a calculator and a computer does it, it's not impressive anymore, you know? So, and I think like the kids now will not care about AI, but the generation after the kids now will care about AI. They'll care about the opposite, where everything is AI made, and now they're like, no, we want to take it back. That's what I hope happens anyway.
The wind was dancing with joy. I believe that Sylphid may accept you as the Olm if we ask. I'll take your compliments to heart, Fairy. Sounds like we've got an elemental to convince.
Where do we find this Sylphid fella?
At Mount Gala, the source of the winds. Do you and your girlfriend want to come? As the Soul Guard, it's your job to see even potential alms safely to their destination, right?
You have a point.
Okay, got my new party member. I did not pay attention to any of that because I was too busy talking about AI, but 100% we're going back to basics. Community has disappeared and we're trying to push back. I think the problem is really going to be the fundamental shit, like when agriculture is taken over. Basically, when the fundamental labor stuff that humans have to do up until now, once that's completely taken over by corporations. Yeah, well, see, that's the sort of, well, it probably, a lot of it is realistically taken up by corporations. I think, look, I am really interested, like what is life going to be like in 50 years? Like, how many jobs will there be? Will we constantly just invent new jobs the way we have to create and keep people employed? Or will it be a situation where, like, you actually might have to genuinely look into something like universal basic income as a way to sort of, as a way for people to, you know, just live and be able to support themselves. And then, like, we'll become a more creative society as a result, as in, like, artistically creative? Or does it just sort of, like, turn into this weird dystopian thing where, I don't know, it's just, it's so interesting, and if I'm being honest, it's terrifying, like absolutely terrifying that is, like, I would like to think so, you know, a couple of weeks ago, this was my sort of full-time thing, I was doing freelance stuff and that was fine. Unfortunately, Game Explain, the place where I did it, is it's still going, but no longer looking for freelancers, which is, you know, fine. It's just downsizing. And it's like, I'd like to think that at some point in my life, this channel will be the thing that I support myself off, and fingers crossed it does happen. But it's weird that there's a lot of people that are okay with watching AI made content, you know? And the fact that in 5 years, will an AI be able to make as good a review of a game as I can? Probably. And then all you have to do is just rely on the people like us who see the value in having videos and music and TV shows and just any form of like content that we consume is made by a human. And you just sort of have to rely that there's enough people in this world to be able to support somebody like me, hopefully one day, with that sort of stuff. Because again, I've no problem with, like, for a while I was cutting up my videos and uploading them as shorts. And that was a completely mechanical process. I was literally finding the spot, cutting it, adding captions, and uploading it. So eventually there was this like AI thing that you could do where you basically show what part you want to do and it edits the whole thing for you. So it cuts it up, removes the spaces, adds captions. That's like a completely mechanical process of, yes, it is made by an AI. Like the AI did the editing. But personally, I have no problem with that. But I would have a problem with me doing a review and it being made by AI in any way, if I'm being honest. Like any way, shape or form. AI touch it. I don't want AI anywhere near it. And then eventually, especially if you get into really personal videos, like how Elden Ring became my favorite game of all time. Like that was a personal video about my story. And it's like, the amount of people that are doing that sort of shit but with AI is, yeah. Pretty horrifying, if I'm being totally honest.
I won't rest until I found Sylphid.
Don't worry, I'm here to protect you.
Okay, let's go do some side quests.
You and Ramco made up.
Yeah, once AI starts having your opinion for you, Elon Musk is suddenly in your mind, and you're like, yo, we're part of it. Lol. Thinking about it, if anything, I don't hate AI as much as I hate the people using it. And by AI, I mean the generative slop and not the actual programming training or specific. Yeah, like there's going to be things that AI can do. Like I've heard some people say like AI is going to be really good for medical research because it'll be able to run these tests and detect shit way faster and more free, like just way better than we can. And that's brilliant. Like that is a genuine good use for it. As I said, something like you could probably have an AI run through a game and find bugs. And it could probably do it better than a human. And I personally don't think that's really, you know, all that big of an issue. I know obviously there's jobs being lost, but as I said, people will lose jobs to robots. That's just a problem we're going to have our whole lives. And yeah, it's just something we're going to have to deal with. But like, do you know what I hate? And I get a lot of this because since I do this YouTube thing, I'm keeping up to date on what people want on YouTube, the sort of what thumbnails are doing good, how to make good videos. Like I'm watching these YouTube sort of guru kind of people. And there's legitimate ones, like genuinely really good ones that teach people how to make good YouTube videos and whatnot. But there's a lot of these almost like grifters that are just like, yeah, here's how I made 6 faceless AI YouTube channels that generate me 15k a month. And it's like, okay, fair enough. I'm sure there are people doing that. I'm sure the majority of them people are all lying, but I'm sure there are people that do it, that can do it and have done it. But like, I would much rather make a video that gets 500 views but know I'm proud of making it than get a video that, like, make a channel that's earning me 15,000 a month but there's nothing, like, you're not making anything substantive, you're not making anything creative. You are literally just running things through a computer program and then uploading it, and then and I don't want to sound mean, but then there's also idiots and I'm like, I usually, you know, they're just idiots. Like, there's people that will willingly sit there and think, oh, it is totally okay that I'm watching a documentary that was written, scripted, and edited by an AI. And it's like, how? I think I'm worried for that sort of generation, because I think they're just missing. I think they're missing the. I think they're just missing the human experience, you know? It's like, that's what they, like, as I said, it's impressive that somebody came up with this banger song because there's a human behind it. There is a brain, there is a story, there is history behind that person that led them to that moment of making that song, or making that game, or doing that painting. And then you have people that will gladly sit there and say, if I like the song, I have no problem that it was made by AI. And it's like, you're just missing the, like, you are listening to noise at that point. You're not listening to a story that was created by a human, and the lyrics have meaning, and the melody is this, and it links in with this part of the song, and it's all this. You are listening to noise, and that's it. And that's exactly what you're doing with them. Like, you know, my YouTube channel is not high art. I'm not even sure if I would consider it art. But my personality, my writing, my history with games, my story with games, my personal story of growing up is in my content. And for somebody that's making a video on, here's the top 5 reasons why Elden Ring blew up the internet, and it's that, like, just very monotone AI voice. And yeah, well, that's it. Look, yeah, hope to get your art you want back. Isn't really artificial, it's art. Wait, mechanics, but throwing art and something so you can put in some words. Wait, I'm kind of confused there, SD. And also, well, yeah, it is shit on the environment too. Yeah, you're listening to code. That's exactly it. Like, we already mindlessly consume media. We mindlessly listen to a lot of music. We mindlessly listen to podcasts. We mindlessly play games because we're always distracted. We're always scrolling on our phone. Like, that's mindless activities. But at the very least, the majority of that stuff that you are consuming are made by humans. So if you remove that element, you, as I don't know what way to address you, as I don't understand them characters, but as Purple Picture person in the chat said, you are listening to code, and that's all you're doing. You're listening to beeps and boops. It's like Mr. Krabs, you know Mr. Krabs. He's like, can you play that song that goes beep boop bop, ba beep boop bop? Like, that's what you're listening to.
Oh look, another duck bear. Yep, duck bears can be found all over the world. At least that's what Shiri.
There's my rant with AI. My monthly AI rant.
Any dud bears we spot during our travels. We'll probably end up with spare grizzly syrup to trade anyway.
I like how there's probably at least one person watching this full VOD, and they're coming here thinking they're gonna get like an impressions on Visions of Mana, but I've literally just gone on a 15-minute rant about AI. I hope it was a good one though. I can't believe I'm like 2 hours into this game, and I genuinely have one action ability. Am I missing something? Because I very well could be. I swear, Jake, she's actually 1,000 years old in the lore. That actually was in Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. There genuinely was a character that had a baby voice and was like in the lore 1,000 years old. And I'm not even joking. I'm not joking. She was like looked like a kid, had the voice of a kid, but she was like 1,000 years old. And Jake, one day we will play Risk of Rain. This game ain't cutting the mustard for me right now, if I'm being honest. Jake, I have a single action ability, and I'm about 2 hours into the game.
Wind, if I am not mistaken.
There's nothing you can say that'll change my mind. I'll become the Alm and make you see you were wrong about me. About everything.
Soul God, as you can see, young Karina is as stubborn as can be.
Yep. Well, that's exactly what I wanted, Jake. Every single Mana game that I've played since Children of Mana, and that I played as a kid, so you know, I didn't really understand what was going on. I did enjoy it, but I played Secret of Mana, I played Secret of Mana Remake, I played Trials of Mana, and every single one of them is like, these are good games, high quality, look good, the combat's okay, but they are so basic and have absolutely nothing about them. And so far, this has nothing about it. Except for it looking beautiful. This game is genuinely gorgeous. But what I meant a second ago was more about the generative AI art, saying that's not intelligence. That's not thinking. It's taking your words and its data. And yeah, it's like, I heard somebody make the argument, okay? I heard somebody make the argument that the fact that if somebody, like, imagine I was a painter and someone asked me to do a Renaissance painting. I would look at different Renaissance paintings and take inspiration from the previous Renaissance artists and create my own version of that art. And somebody tried to make the argument that what's the difference between a human doing that and an AI doing that? Like, if you ask an AI to do a Renaissance painting, it will gather up all the Renaissance paintings it can in Google on its database and generate its own off all the inspiration. And it's like, how is that the same? If it was one of the most brain dead arguments I think I've ever heard somebody make.
Mind letting me get a piece of that thing the chief gave you before we left? I figure I need to.
Wait,
I might seem like a delicate blossom.
That wasn't the happiest farewell back there. Will you be able to set out on the...
Don't worry, I'm not leaving anything behind that I care about. Honestly, I couldn't wait to leave. I've always wanted to see what's out there in the world. Back in Longren, they don't let you travel much unless you're chosen to be the Alm. If it weren't for you showing up when you did, I'd still be stuck in town.
I've realized why Arlo has been doing my head in this whole stream, okay? He's just been crying looking at me. And I thought it was because I wasn't giving him any attention. But the reality of the situation was Arlo left a tennis ball out the back garden. And he was looking out the window crying because he wanted the tennis ball. And now he's happy again. So there you go. Arlo, look! Your tennis ball! Look! Oh, that was a good catch. Oh, the camera got that. Did the camera catch? Did the camera catch Arlo catching that mid-air? Because that was pretty cool. Even if it's good, I don't care about AI art because the whole point of art is human connection. Yeah, that's the only thing you need to say to that argument. Yeah. Yeah, Arlo, I'm not messing, Jake. Arlo will find a ball at least once a week. We'll be out in the park, he'll just disappear into the bushes, and then he'll come out with a ball.
The elemental vessel is reacting to something.
Now, it's great because that means I don't have to buy him any more tennis balls. Squidward tennis balls.
Oh, I do believe the spirits wish to aid you on your journey. Elemental vessels can tap into different types of mana and bestow those powers on their wielders. Don't hesitate to use them during your travels. And now, I must be off.
I got my first trophy. Whoa! Oh no, I didn't. What was the first trophy I got? No. Complete the prologue. There we go. Yeah, the voice acting. Some of the characters are okay, Jake. Elemental vessels. Equipping a vessel to a character will activate the power of the corresponding class. This is known as changing your class. Thanks. I unlocked the win. Okay, finally do I get fecking active abilities. Yes. So, SD, I have a Shih Tzu called Poppy, and she will not play fetch outside of the house, and half the time she is like that. She's the laziest dog you'll ever meet. But Arlo's half terrier, half Jack Russell, half Staffy. So he's just absolutely wired. So he'll bring a ball back all day. Yes, I got more trophies. Yes, cool. Okay, yeah, alright. I don't need all these. Rune Knight. Do I want... Yeah, I think I'll put both of them in. And we'll just level them up as we go. Don't worry, Jake. I'm sure I will update you on Visions of Men. Oh, so different classes from different elements. Okay. Now, does that mean I have some cool weapons? Oh, wait, actually, I could probably go back. Oh, elemental plot. Oh, shit, I maybe should have read this. What is... Oh, my God, what is this? Use the power of wind to imbue an ally's weapon. Without wind, okay. Woo. Generate a small tornado. Okay, now we're talking. Why wasn't this introduced earlier? It's not like the game is even, like,
Do you know if Ramco is
full of tutorials either. Yeah, so 2 hours into the game you get your class.
She hasn't grown much since we met, but I think she's still a baby. Our village has tales from olden times.
Oh, we can only have one person. Okay. I was wondering what was happening there. That's kind of annoying, isn't it? We got a Zweihander.
It's a huge sacred beast, flying through the skies on their bright white wings.
Then will you give us a lift once you're big enough, Ramco?
She said no thanks.
Aw, too bad. I wanted to ride.
Ramco says that she'll let you ride on her hand.
No fair.
Okay, let's try. Okay, so we're getting maybe, like, ever so slightly kind of Final Fantasy VII Remake kind of thing here. Where we've got, like, a mixture of action and turn-based.
Grizzly! Got some syrup.
Now, how do we get up there? I don't think I can. Okay, I'm like Michael Phelps here with the swimming.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
See, this is the problem when open world games have completely frictionless collection. I just feel compelled to collect everything. And I guess it's more of like a character flaw rather than a flaw of the game.
Yes.
But I waste so much time just like walking around collecting all this stuff, I could literally probably be at my next objective. Gathering Elementite will restore some mana and also grant your elemental points. You can interact with it. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Oh, Yo, the trophies. The trophies are flowing.
Got some syrup. This is kind of exciting. This might be useful.
How do I get up there? That look. Oh wait. I wonder if I like.
Taking this.
If I do like multiple dash. Oh, okay. Okay, that was easier than I thought. I forgot I can like indefinitely dash.
Kind of exciting. Nice.
And we gotta give these to the Fubadabas, whatever they were called. Some weird creatures that give me items in return. Have to keep my eye on the scores of the football. Ah. Haaland scored a hat-trick for City. That makes sense.
Taking this. Looks like I'm in luck, huh? Wanna do this the hard way, huh?
Taking over.
Okay, let me... So weird having to use the D-pad to bring up the skills.
Got some syrup. Wanna do this the hard
A
way,
lime
huh?
slime. The status effect poison will periodically deal damage. Thank you.
I'll carry on from here. I'll carry on from here.
Okay, these... I have not gotten that... What the hell is going on? I've not gotten the hang of these these controls whatsoever. A bee lancer. I like him. Some of the enemy designs are pretty cool.
Time to shine. I'm brimming with power.
Yeah, this is like one of these
Let me see.
just collect absolutely fecking everything kind of open world games. Well, open zone as Sonic Frontier has Sonic Frontiers has coined, which I actually think is a pretty I know people make a joke about it, but I actually like that terminology. Because the amount of time somebody like, is it an open world game? It's like, no, it's not really, but it does have wide open connected areas. Like Borderlands isn't an open world game, it's an open zone game, you know?
See? The Sylphid Boomerang
I have played
is
Immortals
now
Phoenix
from
Rising, and it's one of
Monster Hunter.
Ubisoft's best games. I love it.
Get it? We use the power of wind to get past the cliff. Okay, I can do this.
There's a first time for every.
Let's give it a try. Elemental triggers are curious manifestations of elemental power that, when under the influence of an elemental, will cause changes to the surrounding landscape or sometimes even the player character. Wow. Riveting. Yeah, I'm so disappointed. I don't know, I think the reviews just got that game wrong. All of the reviews just focused on like they were like, oh, you know, the gods are annoying because the writing is bad. And I didn't agree with that at all. If I'm being honest, I actually enjoyed the sort of comedy of that game, but the reviewers didn't. I don't know, it was just fun. It was colorful. Like it was. I know it was fairly like just Breath of the Wild-ish, but you know, at that point we hadn't really had many Breath of the Wild-ish games. You know, we only had Breath of the Wild. And then, I know it's just another open world game, and people were, you know, everyone's sort of sick of the Ubisoft open world. But at least Immortals Phoenix Rising was different to the sort of Ubisoft style. Actually, I think one day I'll have to go back and platinum that game. Yeah, and also, another thing, SD, that... Immortals was actually like a relatively short game. I don't know how much time I put into it, but it's not like 100 hours. I think I probably only put like 25, 30 hours into it, you know? So it wasn't like this absolutely ginormous game that just gave you absolutely everything. And like I tried Assassin's Creed Odyssey one day. And I did the opening section, and I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. And then you get your ship, and you open the map. And I was like, holy shit, what am I supposed to do with this? Now, apparently Outlaws is quite a small game. Like a 20... Like, I think it might be the same as Phoenix Rising. Yeah, the thing is, I've never actually... I'm not a... I've never really been a big DLC guy, so I've never played the Immortals DLC. And also, Immortals was out... Like, I started my channel in 2020. Well, I started in, like, 2018 or something, but I think I uploaded, like, 3 videos before that. And then in 2020 was when I started doing an upload a week. And it was during COVID. I was unemployed. I just finished college. Obviously, very few jobs going. So I was just doing YouTube. And I didn't really have that much money. So I was buying games and trading them in. So, just to make videos on them. So, Phoenix Rising, I don't even own it anymore. I think it's part of the PS Plus though or something. Sea Lancer. Oh, I think... Oh, that just imbues my weapon. Okay. Wait, I can't swap...
Carry on from here.
Oh, no, it's just a... Okay. Airborne boulders. The Sylphid boomerang can summon air current powerful enough to pick up large rocks. Cool. Now, it does look like there's... Yep. A chest around here. What an awful placement for a chest. It just looks like I shouldn't even be allowed down here. What the fuck do we get out? Hmm. Thank you, SD. I'm an idiot. I will hold my hand up. Unless, can I do this? Yep. Okay, that was a bit easier, but yeah. I'm an idiot. Ah, yes, look at that. YouTube reviewer tries to outsmart developers. Looks like an idiot. Colorized. Grizzly! We've got some platforming sections. Look at this.
Taking this? There's no coming back from a fall like that. Watch your step. Got some syrup.
Yeah, I rarely read the tutorials in games. And I understand, like, sometimes, you know, I'll get confused and be like, oh, I didn't really understand this at the start, and maybe they explained it in a tutorial. But, in fairness, I don't know. Sometimes games, I'm not saying this game, I just mean some games in general kind of get a bit too cute, and they try to be too smart. And if you really need to explain a lot in tutorials, then I think you've probably not, like, there's a lot of times where you just didn't do a good job as a game designer, because the best games don't really ever need tutorials, and they build their tutorials into the actual game, where, you know, you have the very, like, oh, I'm a game design 101, like, you know, you have the first level of Mario where, you know, in the first couple of seconds you basically learn everything that can happen in Mario. And it's kind of similar with, like, that's why the Dark Souls games, I think, are designed so well, is that they always sort of, there's, near the start of the game, there's almost always a reason why something is in a certain spot. Because, like, oh, this teaches you about, like, this, and this teaches you about that, you know? Like I really wonder, did I need, like, if you have, do you notice when I go up to one of these wind vents and it pops up saying press R2? Did I really need a tutorial to tell me what that did? I don't think I did. Like, you should see something that is like blue and glowing the way that is, and then think, oh, I wonder what that is. And then you walk up and then you get the prompt to press R2. So you're gonna press R2. I don't think I needed a tutorial there. I like the design of these slimes, they're pretty cool. I like how they splat as well. I was replaying it before the DLC came out, so I turned off the tutorial hints. So much of the DLC has tutorial hints that make the game... Oh, well, yeah. That's a big oversight, I guess. I actually haven't touched the DLC. What DLC packs is there in that game? Because I don't even know. I do actually want to make, you know, the way I was doing that was how X changed gaming forever or forever for me. I want to do one on Resident Evil 7 and how that made me get into horror games, because before I was too much of a baby to play them. And then Resident Evil 7 showed me just how good they could be. And then I was hooked. Ah. And can you do combat in that Rose DLC? Or is it like a passive DLC? Yeah, because, I mean, I'm a bitch.
Let me see.
Because, like, I played 7, and then I went back to 4, and then I played 2 Remake, and then I played 1 HD, I played 8, I played Revelations, never beat it though, and then I've played Dead Space. Like, there's so many amazing games that I would have never touched if I had never played Resident Evil 7. Now, in saying that, with Resident Evil 7 specifically, the only reason that I could play it, and, you know, in hindsight, it was well worth it, is I used to watch, there was what were they called? Were they called a Scary Game Squad? It was Jesse Cox, and I think Gerard the Completionist, and I think there were 2 other people, and they basically sit in a room and do, like, co-op Let's Plays of horror games. So I kind of knew where all the jumps and stuff were, so it made it way easier to play. But it also meant that now I can play horror games, so, I mean, it was well worth it.
Let me see. This might be useful.
Sylphid!
Good old Sylphid. My best friend.
What happened here?
Sylphid!
Oh, we got the first boss. Oh, God.
What do you think I am, stupid? I'm trying to avoid them. I'm on it.
I got this.
I don't know. I can't get the hang of these controls. Let's use this.
I won't lose. I feel sick.
I wouldn't have gotten RE7 and gotten into horror had I not got a PSVR. So wait, SD, what you're saying is you went from not playing horror games to playing Resident Evil 7 in VR? Because that's a move.
Fireball.
Oh god. This dude don't mess around.
I'm on it.
Do I have anything that will like boost my... damage or something. Oh yeah, we got a crit.
Yeah, don't lose your focus. You're mine.
See, and again, this is like, it's like I need something to, I need to be doing something in the fight, you know? It's like right now I'm just smacking this boss's legs. There's no stagger meter, there's no mechanics to the fight. And I know this is the first boss fight, but it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of the fights are like this, where you're just sort of hitting them, you know? That's all you're doing. SD, I just recorded my Ratchet 2 video, and I don't know why, because I know Ratchet 2 is way better than Ratchet 1, I know it, but I just don't really like Ratchet 2 that much, and I have no reason apart from, like, I just don't think the levels are as cool, but from a gameplay perspective, it's better than Ratchet 1 in every single way, but I've always felt like that. Yep, I got a VR, and my friend loves horror games, so I got a game for us to play together. Cheap and CX. We played it, got terrified. Didn't play it for a whole year before I got back to it, and loved it. Yeah. I mean, do I have any games like that where I put them down, then got back to it, and I loved it? I'm sure I do.
Sylphid?
Well, you certainly took your time. No no flow of mana power, and then a gigantic monster shows up. I have not had it easy. Wait a minute.
Ah, that's pretty interesting.
Let's see here. I know you. You're the one-winged oracle, aren't you?
Come here.
The wind spirits like you. Yes, you're quite compatible. If you have both Ramco and the wind on your side, I see no reason not to make you the Alm. It's decided.
Karina, one who dances on the wind with sacred peace. By the grace of the goddess of mana, I name you the Alm of Wind. Val, Hina, I can't thank you enough. Hang on, let's make it sound more official, shall we? Oh, wise Soul Guard and his companion, the Alm of Fire, I humbly ask to accompany you on your pilgrimage. Okay, enough dawdling. Let's get going. We have a whole world to see and an important duty to fulfill.
I don't hate the early Ratchet Clanks, but the future series onwards are my games. Plus,
Yeah.
see, I really like Ratchet.
It's
I really
gotta
like
be
Ratchet 1,
16 years
as in,
now since it was lost to
like,
time.
arsehole Ratchet.
All the parishioners disappeared.
I just think it gives it a different edge
than
than all the other sort of games. Like, it stands out big time.
And I guess we can skip a turn on our journey. Too bad. I wanted to see what it was like.
Once we get through Mount Gala, we should reach the Lefaya Drifts. Then we'll be headed to the harbor.
Whoa, drifts? As in snowdrifts? You hear that, Ryoko? We can make snowmen to our heart's content. Well, shouldn't we be on our way to the mana tree?
This story is completely boring me.
I can see it. It's calling to me.
There's... I don't think... I don't think I can see myself playing much more of this game, to be honest. I know I only gave it 2 hours, but... And there will be, because I got a lot of this game explained with people when you give impressions of RPGs, and they'd be like, you only gave it 8 hours. Like, you need to give an RPG 15 hours. It's like, if a game isn't good in 8 hours, you know, you can't blame anyone for putting it down. I know I haven't given this 8 hours, but yeah, I don't know. It's just fine. That's all it is.
In the past, Lefaya was an idyllic area with a mighty river. The nearby parish was full of life and warmth. But tragedy struck 16 years ago when the moonlit parish Etern failed to send an alm to the mana tree. Without the protection of its elemental, the land was decimated by an endless blizzard. The cold so bone deep, it was as though time itself had frozen over. Etern lost all of what it was, and all it could have been, ravaged by its dreadful fate. The fear of that same destiny haunts us all. That is why we have to live life to the fullest, while we can.
It's a good message. There you go.
Everything's frozen. The plants, the wildlife, all of it.
Okay. I think that's me done for Visions of Mana right now. I might return to it in the coming days. Give it, you know, maybe another hour or two and just see if anything else happens. But as of right now, I don't particularly find this game. It's totally fine. See, this is the thing with this sort of a game. It's kind of like, and obviously, you know, I'm not deep into progression, or, you know, there's probably stuff that's going on that I haven't realized yet. That maybe you get a couple of abilities and whatnot. But, like, when it comes to... Yeah, well, Final Fantasy... Don't get me started on Final Fantasy 16. That game is a disaster. And people go on as if it's, like, one of the best Final Fantasy games ever made. Not even close. When it comes to games like this feels like you made Secret of Mana, made it 3D, and made it look better. And yes, there's more action abilities and it's a bit flashier, but like every single fight, like without fail, is walk up to an enemy. I like the enemy designs, but like, view my weapon with fire and just press square. There's no, like, there is like square, triangle. Is it that? What's a square triangle? Square triangle. No, that's the same attack. Square triangle. No. Okay, so there's no combos. Well, for this class anyway. So it's like, you're not even like, oh, do this combo because it's good for breaking their stagger or it leaves them vulnerable. It's just press square and press square some more. And then when you're done pressing square, maybe press triangle. And then also, if you're so inclined,
There yet? It should
you
be
might be
close.
able to look
We better
and do
keep
this.
moving.
Look. Do that. Imbue your weapon with fire. Maybe even... Maybe even do this. Hello, Miles Smith. Welcome. Maybe even press square some more and don't have to dodge or block. I'm not even sure if there's like a perfect dodge that maybe incentivizes you to dodge at the perfect time so that you can get more damage or maybe knock them down. Doesn't look like that's happening. I mean, even if it does happen, is the combat hard enough to warrant it? No. So, just like Trials of Mana, and again, this is only 2 hours impressions, this is not a review, but just like Trials of Mana, this game, so far, is, like, looks beautiful, runs really well, like, fair play to them. I know it's, you know, maybe not that difficult to get a game like this running well on PlayStation 5, but a lot of games don't run very well on PlayStation 5. This game does. Runs fantastic, looks fantastic. The voice acting is not great. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of being mean to this game. But at this point, I have very little interest in going back to this. What are you planning on playing the new Astrobot game, Miles Smith? Yes, I am indeed. I'm going to pre-order it next week. Now, I will probably, Miles, I should actually really keep this in the description. But I don't know if you've seen, Miles. I have a new retro channel where I talk about old games. And this is like... Let me just get it here. And I know... Astrobot is not a... Oh, what the hell's going on here? Sorry, let me just get this here. What is going on? Something is happening with this YouTube. I know Astrobot isn't a retro game, but I think if you are interested in Astrobot and interested in the games I cover on the retro channel, I think there is crossover there. So I'm going to cover it over there.
Does anybody need healing?
Here it is, Miles Smith, if you are so inclined. There is the YouTube channel, Retrobution. I will be covering it over there. I cannot wait. It's probably my... You know, obviously it wasn't my most highly anticipated game because there was so much... because it literally only got announced a couple of months ago. But once it got announced, yes. Very excited. I can't wait. I'm currently playing through a lot of Ratchet & Clank games in Miles. So, it's going to be right up the alley for sort of thing. But thank you. Thank you for the subscription. What was Gearbox 2K PS launch game that people complain about these things? Combat was bad and not very hard. Yes, it is Godfall. And to be honest, Godfall was totally playable. And again, this game is totally playable. But, like, let me say, again, I've only played a couple of hours. This is not a review. What is... So, the current time on how long to beat for Visions of Mana is 36 hours. If I had to play this game for 36 hours, now again, it might get really good, but as of the first 2 hours, as I have to keep saying, it was not inspiring much in me.
Yes.
And, you know, if I'm being honest, judging by what I heard from other people and people I trust and reviewers I trust, well, one reviewer that I trust, should I say. I've only listened to one guy talk about it. Well, one guy talk about it extensively. I've heard a couple of people talk about it in previews and how, you know, they're just not... I've heard many people say on previews, yeah, I've played 5 hours and I don't want to play anymore. So it's like, do I really, really want to sit here and play more of this game only for, you know, me to turn it off and waste another 3 hours when I could use that, I don't know, doing something more productive? I probably don't. So Square Enix, I appreciate the code. I have given this game a go. And as of the first 2 hours, I do not recommend it right now. So yeah.
Are you cold, Belle?
I'm fine. you holding up?
I feel like, yeah, well, Ratchet and Clank is sick. I love Ratchet and Clank. I feel like basically any game these days that's 20, 30, 40, whatever hours long aren't games that should be binged. No, a lot of them shouldn't be, and that's a problem with... I know I'm not reviewing this game, but that is a problem with the review landscape. Like, you heard people talk about it with Star Wars Outlaws, which is a shorter game, like a shorter... It's still, 20, 30 hours long, but it is a shorter Ubisoft game. But with that game... It's like, I think people are given 5 or 6 days to review it. Or like a week or something. That's just ridiculous. Like nobody, like I play a lot of games. And I've gotten really good at binging games because I was reviewing them a lot. But like, nobody should play that amount of games in that short a time. Especially if it's like, you feel obligated to do it. Well, not feel, you are obligated because it's your job, So, yeah. But even, like, to be honest, like, these 2 hours have been, I mean, without a chat and being able to talk about things and have discussions, these last 2 hours would have been completely boring. I would have had a podcast in. I would not have paid attention to any of the story. I would have just mindlessly pressed buttons. And I guess if you want to do that, there is this game. I would suggest if you want to mindlessly press buttons, play Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I think it's a better game than this so far from what I played here. So, it's also more contained. Oh shit, no, we ain't fighting him. How's it going, foe? It's going okay for me. Just this game. My voice is actually starting to hurt me. It actually does look like Genshin. It does. It does. Like, it looks brilliant. The graphics are amazing. Yeah, well, I hate that whole mentality of... I think that mentality is the reason why we have games that are so bloated. And, like, there's so many games where you could sit down and say, this is a great 10 or 12 hour long game, but it's a bad 15 or 20 hour long game, It's like, if they just trimmed the fat, it would be brilliant. Like, if somebody came to me and said, okay, this is Visions of Mana, this is what you're doing in the game, and it's this sort of, inoffensive hack and slash RPG, doesn't take much brain, listen to a podcast, sort of, just look at the pretty visuals, and that's it. And you play it, and then you're saying, and then somebody says, and it's only 15 hours. If this was, if I was sitting here after putting in 2 hours and I was thinking, okay, I say, let's say I have 13 hours left. This could potentially not outstay its welcome, I could play it for another couple of more hours. Maybe something opens up, I get a new class, and I'm like, oh, this is really fun. Then it's like, oh, I've only 10 hours to go. I may as well beat it. But right now, just sitting here and thinking, I potentially have another 30 hours of this. No, I'm alright, thanks. I don't want to do it.
I thought there was a bridge here. Do you
Well, yeah,
suppose
like,
snow destroyed
I
it?
think, Miles, I
Is it
think,
just me, or is the storm getting even worse?
like, I understand wanting to get time out of your game, but
A light.
I think it's like,
In a Terran? That's odd.
if,
Maybe someone
If so-
didn't get
okay.
the message. So what
I
should
think
we do?
if time is important to you, and I can understand why it is,
I suppose if we went
money,
to the parish, we might be
games
able
are
to
expensive,
safely.
people can't buy that
That's
many
as good
games,
a
okay?
plan as any.
Like, I understand I'm in a different position. I do this, well, I did it for a living as of a couple of weeks ago. I also have a channel that I'm trying to build, so hopefully at some point the money that I spend on the games will
I'm not
eventually,
surprised that we saw the light
result in
near the
future
abandoned
gains and my
parish.
channel will grow and blah, blah,
Must
blah.
be over there. Let's keep
But-
heading toward Iteran.
I think the fact that a lot of gamers think, oh, I want time out of my game that I put my money in, is what caused these games to become bloated, where developers were like, oh, we need to make our game minimum 25, 30 hours long. Let's just pad it, like, just fucking put loads of padding in it so then people won't feel stung by it. And that's cool. But what I would say to that is, if that developer made that 30-hour long game into an 18-hour long game, it would be a better game. It wouldn't feel as bloated. And if time is an issue for you, time, like money spent to time played, then wait for the game to go on sale, and then that's the kind of where you can kind of reconcile that in your own head and think like, oh, let's say a game is 10 hours long and it's €80 and you're thinking, I'm not spending €80 for 10 hours. Just wait until it goes on sale. Eventually it will be 40, 50, €60. And then you might think, oh, €40 for 10 hours of really high quality gameplay, then brilliant. But I just think, like, there's certain games that do it well. If you think of Breath of the Wild, if you think of Elden Ring, if you think of like something like Immortals Phoenix Rising, I think they are really good out. Well, I think Breath of the Wild and Elden Ring are on a different level to Immortals Phoenix Rising. Let me get that straight. But Elden Ring and Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom are €70 games, and you can get like minimum 50, 60 hours of really high quality gameplay. So they don't feel bloated for bloated's sake. I think part of Elden Ring and Tears of the Kingdom is that like they were going for a certain, like, this is vast, this is massive, this is part of the game. We are not trying to pad it. Whereas I was actually just about to bring this up, SD, Dying Light 2, even though I really enjoyed Dying Light 2, and I actually don't think it was that padded, they came out and said like, oh, there's however many long, hundreds of hours of gameplay in this. And it's like, to me, that seems like the developers didn't go in with the intention of making a game that's vast and open and give you this feeling of adventure and blah, blah, blah. They went into it saying, we want to make a long game, and we will make a long game by any means necessary. And I think that's like the distinction between a big game, like a bloated game, and a game that is intentionally bloated or big, you know? Yeah, that's totally fair. Definitely plenty of games for that nowadays. Personally, I love a focus game. I beat Ori 3 or in the day it came out, and I've played the game total. Yeah. Well, the thing with Resident Evil, like, again, that game is short, it's contained, it's high quality, but they're made to be replayed, and that's where you sort of get your extra time out of it. Have the game's price tag tied to their Metacritic score? That will make them focus on quality over... Yeah. That would be a dangerous game because people would review bomb it and then they'd be fecked. Well, yeah, it is. It's almost always a from the higher up getting trickled down. Oh yeah, I was completely turned off ever trying. I remember I watched Skill Up's review of AC Valhalla, and I was like, oh my god. And the thing is, Vikings are cool. There's a DLC that's set in Ireland. I was like, that is so cool, but I just can't deal with the bloat. It's kind of like if we go back to Starfield, like we were talking about Starfield earlier on the stream. And it's like if we go back to Starfield, that game has 1,000 planets. Like, what were they thinking? Like, what were they thinking with 1,000 planets of complete emptiness that nobody gives a shite about? Nobody wants to explore them areas. Give me 20 planets that I can fly to seamlessly and have that sense of exploration and have it all this. But instead, like, do you know what people love? People love randomly, well, I'm not even sure if it's randomly generated, but it may as well be. People love randomly generated planets that have, here's a robotics lab that you can go explore and get a weapon. A randomly generated fucking weapon. It's like, oh, thank you very much. I am so happy that you included that in your game. Oh, they fucked up Starfield so bad. They almost had a really good game. And then they were like, we're just gonna focus on the wrong things. And that's what they did. Oh, Starfield Irish voice act. Oh, how's it going, Koopa? Welcome. But yeah, Starfield's whatchamacallit. Irish accent's absolutely awful. Again, look, this is a supposedly hard enemy, 2 levels above me. Oh, bollocks! No! Oh, you can't write that. You can't write that. Oh my god. Oh. Ah, well, there you go. That's... I fucked around and I found out. I'll hold my hand up. Maybe the game is difficult. Okay. Regardless, my point still stands. It's a mindless, bland combat. I remember Nakey Jakey's review of Starfield saying, this game has 1,000 planets and I wish I had like 5. Exactly. Because the stuff, and this is why I'm excited for the Starfield DLC. The Starfield DLC is going to be set in a contained location. Kind of like Far Harbor or something. From Fallout 4. So I am very excited. And I'm working on a video about Starfield right now. And then I'll do, like, I've got to do it the same sort of like the Elden Ring video and then do the DLC afterwards. AC Rogue's Irish voice was bad, but it has some weird charm to it. Oh, the Starfield voice is awful. Folk, clip it all you want. The point still stands. Like, I won't die here, I know that, but like, I know this is just like a basic fight, but there's nothing for me to consider in this, you know? There's no stagger meters. There is elemental resistances, but like, there's not even like a there's no. Okay, now I'm gonna body this fucker.
Watch yourselves, everyone. Feel the punch of mana. Unleashing my full power.
Last but not least.
You got it. Fireball.
Okay, is this fucker gonna do his big attack and destroy me here? Okay, that no. Okay, there we go. I dodged the attack, everybody. I'm good at the game. Oh my god. Okay. There, I beat him. I wish... Wait, let me... What is this? I wish some games approach difficulty like Ghost of Tsushima did. Lethal difficulty is insane. You die in 2 hits, but so do most enemies. It's such a cool... Yeah, that is cool, because a lot of times it's just like the enemies deal more damage and you deal less damage, or you know, something like that. What I really like is when they start to like change up the difficulty by different enemy placements, and you know, you'll have different enemies at, like, you'll have harder enemies at earlier points in the games, and like things like that. That's way more interesting than literally just a numbers game. And I understand it's probably not always viable to be able to do it, but it would be cool if there was better approaches, because it's even like New Game Plus.
The moon is beautiful.
Starfield, and I won't spoil it, Starfield is something really cool with its New Game Plus mode.
I think we're nearly there. Come at me. Just one left. Just what I need.
Looks like I powered up.
Let's rest up.
Let me open the chest. I hate sponging this. I had to quit Gotham Knights because it felt like wait, what's that? Again, this fucking... Oh, ages to be... Yeah. Don't get me started on Gotham Knights, folk. Gotham Knights is absolutely awful. Yeah, SD, I lost a lot of respect for you when you said you loved Gotham Knights. I don't judge people for what games they like. But I judge people for liking Gotham Knights. I fucking hate that game. So we'll do a co-op live. We'll do a co-op live stream of Gotham Knights, and we'll beat it together, and we'll platinum it, and we'll just pull our hair out.
You mighty soul guard.
That would be the... I would fail that challenge instantly. Absolutely instantly.
Taking this?
No, it's not even... It's not the performance. Like, obviously 30 FPS is annoying when that game certainly could run at 60 FPS. They just weren't arse optimizing it.
This is where the light is coming from, right?
But
I think so.
it's just like...
but
Who decided,
daylight is fading.
like, light attack is square, heavy attack is whole square? What is that? All of the traversal abilities feel awful to use.
Was it a mirage? Or are those only in extreme heat?
No, it was real. I think. Let's head closer to the parish and check. Grizzly!
Grizzly!
Yes! Grizzly!
So this is the Moonlit Parish.
Yeah, I went halves. I game shared with David. Ah.
Don't move.
Of course you did, SD. Of course.
What
You probably have
business do you
9
have with that
platinums
terror?
for Gotham Knights somehow, do you?
If you value your lives, go no further.
What do you mean?
Oh, it's just a fog.
Aether no longer benefits from its elemental's protection. Let this be a warning. Trespassing within could cost you your life. I am Morley, a swordsman from Aetern. Its last, in fact.
Wait, but Etern...
SD, you are a glutton for punishment, aren't you?
A survivor from the
900
parish?
hours in Suicide Squad. You're... I mean, fair play to you.
I see. You and the alms need to go through Aether. Let's get to higher ground with a better view of the moon.
The nerve of that guy.
It reminds you of AC Unity. I don't think I've ever played Unity.
I don't think he meant it personally. And he did say
See, this is
us.
what I mean by JRPGs doing this. You see that?
Not a bad tent you've got
Cutscene.
here.
Walk 10 seconds, cutscene.
If
Not
you
even
live
10
in
seconds.
Tern, does that mean you still live in...
No.
So how did...
You can go through the parish. It's not common
Yeah, cool.
about. There is... You can...
Yeah, thank you. See, my introduction to the Bat fam was Batman: The Rise of Sin Tzu on PS2.
This whole time?
Sounds lonely.
Apparently that game
Is there anything
sucks.
we can do to help
I
him
really
out?
enjoyed it when I was young.
Do-gooders, the both of you. Though I am intrigued by the idea of treasure hunting.
Oh, SD Jake tried to get me to play. He was like, "Oh yeah, if you
Plan our next move.
if you kind of want to get the story of Dragon Ball, then start up Kakarot." I did. That game is awful. Like, awful. And then I played that Sandland game. Firstly, the Sandland anime is the only anime I've ever watched. Sandland, the anime is fantastic. But the Sandland game is not good. It's, again, it's kind of like this, but I would say this is a better game than Sandland. Where it's like,
Taking this?
totally fine, looks fine, runs fine, but it just does nothing. Like, it does nothing. That's it. No, it doesn't do anything that's like really good. It doesn't even do anything that's like, I don't know. Like, they do things that are okay, but nothing that's good. So it's like, yeah, if you're a massive fan of Sandland, the single run manga or something, then I don't know, maybe play it, but feel nice and negative after playing this game for nearly 3 hours here.
This place is huge. Where do we even start looking?
Over the years, I've narrowed it down to close to Fallow Bridge toward the south.
Oh, then it's.
Okay,
back
what
to
does
the
this
broken
what does
bridge
this
we
character do?
found.
Okay, he has a cool sword, cool katana. I won. I won the fight by pressing square 3 times. Is this free to play? No, 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 no. This is a full. I don't think it's a full. It might be like 60. I got a code for it, though. This is like, it's like just a full single player, like RPG kind of thing. Thinking about Gotham Knights and Arkham, one of the things I don't like Arkham coming back from Suicide Squad is that Batman is kind of an ass and they treat women horribly, especially Harley. Wait, Suicide Squad is... Harley is so different to Suicide Squad? Oh, yeah, no, the Arkham and the... Yeah, there were two, yeah, completely different actually, now that you say. Again, I've never really been into it to like... Do you know what? Fuck this. If you want to play this game, don't. I mean... It's fine. I'll show you a couple of games of Concord, why not? So if anyone joins, we're not playing Visions of Mana anymore. We're playing Concord. I'll show you off a couple of games. Concord's really fun. I mean, just 2 seconds. Actually, just give me like 30 seconds. I need to go pee. Turn on the lights and that. And then we'll play Concord. Alright. Let's play a few games of Concord. Something that I'll have a bit more fun with. So, Visions of Mana. No. I'll actually, do you know what? You can watch the cutscene here. Just kind of show you the, you know, the cringy Marvel writing. I don't like it. I don't like the writing.
We have received a message from the Free Gunner crew, Dark Cutter.
It's an intimidating name.
Dark Cutter demands that we turn around. Apparently they are after the same bounty on Glance.
Then it's gonna be a real bad day for them.
Perhaps we need a more intimidating name. The Hollow Mirage.
Dark Cutter was the crew that warned us about the guild checkpoint, and now they are threatening us.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Free Gunner code says we share the stars, but once we're planet side, it's every crew for themselves.
Oh my, how dramatic.
What if we were the Omen Riders?
So, the Dark Cutter crew, they are our enemy? Or our friend?
Yeah, both.
I
You know what else would be thrilling?
I boosted the game audio anyway. If you couldn't hear it, that's fine. You're not missing out on much. It's just that guy with the red face in the background is like sitting there, and he's just like doing the kind of Drax, you know. They're very just. I don't know. I don't know how this sort of tone and these characters got past the goalie, you know? Like, just let me show you the heroes. I'll show you the heroes that I think look good, okay? I'm just gonna start there. Okay, so here's the main guy, Lennox. Like, he looks like a human in cosplay. There's nothing cool about his design. He is a human character that has an alien skin on him. That's all. Like, I can see, like, the sort of robot-y legs here. Kind of a cool aspect to that character. Okay. You get Haymar, who is okay. Kind of looks like a warlock from Destiny. Yeah. This person, Lark, interesting. Looks unique, at least. Kip's, very cool design. I love the design. Like a 70s spy robot with a silenced pistol. That's pink. That's cool. That's a character I'd want to play as. Just a completely normal person in what looks like a lab hazmat suit. Not good. Completely normal person in soldier gear. Not good. Jabali, I like his goggles. He honestly kind of looks like a Mortal Kombat character. You know, decent design. One off. He is actually cool, and he's like a trash robot or something that sucks up stuff and dispenses it. Like, a cool design, and his kit also makes sense. Cool. Like, just a general spaceship-looking person. I don't know, like, is there anything cool about that design? I don't think so. This person has a fucking bucket on her head. Like, or on their head, like, it's just... Yeah, nothing. Star Child, I don't think he's as bad as everyone's making him out to be, but he does just look sort of like a B-tier Marvel character. Baz, again, the goggles are cool. John Lennon-y. But I don't like the design. She just looks like, again, a human in cosplay. Somebody trying to be a Navi or something. Roka is, I like her design, but it's just kind of like the Doomslayer, so that's obviously why. And then Duchess, like, she's fine. She looks like a Destiny character. That's it. So it's like, you look at that, and then you compare this to Deadlock, or Overwatch, or even Battleborn, or, you know, all these games. What characters do you want to play as? You don't want to play as these. And that's probably the biggest issue with this game, is, like, these games live and die by their character designs. Have I played Guardians of the Galaxy? I have, but I didn't beat it because I was going for the platinum and one of the trophies got glitched and I just said, fuck this, I'm done. And I've never beaten it. This is Guardians. I actually heard Chris Ray going on a podcast. He was like, this isn't Guardians of the Galaxy, it's Custodians of the Nebula. I was like, that's absolutely perfect, because that's what they are. And they even act like them, you know? It's like that Star Child guy, he's just Drax. Lennox is kind of that alien guy that I showed you at the start with the pistol. He's essentially just what do you call it? Star-Lord. I was trying to I had to think of the name. Now, hopefully the queue time isn't long. Did you bother going to Coldplay? I wish I couldn't get tickets. Yeah, no, I might speak too soon, but so far, like, the longest queue I've had is about 3 minutes. But we'll see. Like, for a long, like, the majority of the time, I could get a game in, you know, 30 seconds. But we'll have to wait and see. God damn, foe. You should have sold them to me. I think Alex actually said he went, or he is going, or... Like there, like that was what, a 2-minute queue time, it's fine, but... Again, like I assume, like let's check the Steam DB here. Okay, now this is the cool thing about this game. You see these crew bonuses? This is what I really like. These two characters give me improved mobility. So I always start with one of these two. And basically now, when I die, I will have improved mobility for the rest of this game, regardless of what character I choose. And you can stack them. So you can eventually have a load of passives that make your character better. I think it's really cool. Also, SD asked, why can you have multiple? It's because I'm pretty sure what they're going to do is they have different variants of the characters that have different abilities. So you can have both that have different... Look, can you see hover targeting up the top left there? It says hover targeting, target lock faster while your hover thrusters are active. The Lennox guy has two different one of them sort of like passive bonuses. Yeah, so the like Lennox has two different passive bonuses and they're on different, technically different characters. So I can have two variants that have different passive bonuses and I can use it as a way to almost swap. It is a pretty weird way of doing it, but I think when you understand the system... Oh shit. I think when you understand the system, it works out pretty well. Okay, I need to... I haven't played this in 2 days. Yeah, it's pretty weird. Because the problem is I don't have the two Lennoxes. So I just have 3 of them because I thought something else would happen. So now... and the problem... This is another problem. See how quickly you don't have much time to change your character? Like, it has a couple of issues that are just like, you know, balancing issues. And that can be fixed with time. But it does have some major issues. And and let's be real, the number one major issue is that like, if I'm being honest, I don't think this game survives to Christmas without going free to play. And as in by survival, I mean the servers will still be up, but nobody will play it, and you won't find you'll struggle to find a game. So I think they need to put it in PS Plus. Because the problem is they can't make it free to play right now, or I think anytime soon. Because I think it just sends the wrong message to the people that bought the game. Like, not that like I personally wouldn't like care too much, but like if they put this free to play, I can understand the people that paid for it. Now I obviously paid for it, but I can understand people like, wait, I literally just gave you $40 and now the same, like, people can just play the game for free, no problem. And it's like, I understand that from like a consumer loyalty thing. It's like, why? Like, I just wasted 40 quid. You could have just given me the game, you know?
On my mark.
And I'm sure they'll be like, oh, we'll give you this free skin. It's like, I don't want the fucking skin, I want my money back. It's like the Star Wars Outlaws things with the saves. The broken saves. Okay, now this guy has this ability that I actually really like. I throw smoke, and if I aim down sights, only I can see through it. Well, he can also see through because he's one of them. But I think that's just a cool system. So like the characters have cool abilities, and the gunplay, like, very Destiny. Like, you can see it here. It's very Destiny. Okay, this guy's a tank, and he has one beam that basically, see that, like, that's like a Diva Matrix, where, you know the way Diva, like, absorbs all the oh, and now he deals damage. I'm dead here though. Oh. Do you think the game could have any space in the esports community? I don't, and to be honest, I don't think the developers want it in the esports community. I personally think that's a problem. Like, there's no competitive game mode, there's no skill-based matchmaking, so they're obviously trying for, like, this is going to be a casual person's shooter. I personally don't like that. much prefer to have a ranked system. So. Oh, he's won. Nice. And I can convert my shield into like normal, like almost overcharged health kind of shield. Get him! Also, some of the quips, like, no joke, this character says, I'm moving to the objective like a boss. And I'm like, what the fuck? Who wrote that? Like, if... I said it in the video, like, if that is the quality of a Sony first-party writing, it's like, who the fuck are they hiring? And what are they being taught as well? Like, who is sitting there in a room, in a lecture room in college, telling them, I'm moving to the objective like a boss. Like, something that was literally 2010 internet. Like, who told them that is good writing? And then another one is that Lennox guy, the guy with the revolver. He has a throwing knife that explodes. And when he throws it, he says, Splody knife. It's like, Splody knife. Splody knife. Are you serious? So that's another thing. This game just has a lot of problems. It's fun. I enjoy it. The problem is, Lennox is kind of like my main, and I haven't been able to choose him because you can only have one of each. This character's really cool. I think she's kind of weak, though. Now, she is kind of like a, you know, a hacker kind of character, but like, now this is a tank, but as you can see, I don't deal much damage to him. That's the sentiment I keep seeing about Suicide Squad subreddit. So many posts. I just got this and I'm loving it with comments responding. You're only 2 hours in. You got it for 20. Yeah. Like if you there's a part in, I don't know if you have watched the Concord video, but there's a part in my Concord video where I show the 2 voice lines, and it's like, I don't know. It's, I hate, like I was talking to Jake, and I hate using this as a critique because it's so overused, but all that Marvel writing is just awful. And I actually should ask Jake, because he might know, because he went to like a writing college and he knows writers and stuff. When people go to writing college and they're like being taught how to write, are they all literally just sitting there just like, Marvel is really successful, and if you want a job in the industry and you want to work at one of these studios, they want you to do this kind of Marvel writing, so we're just going to teach you this, and now that's the only writing people can do or something? I don't know. It's just dreadful. And another interesting thing, if we're going to talk... Now, I don't do this often, but if we're going to talk about, like, money spent per time played, okay? Also, SD, just let me show you this. So, as you can see, there are 2 different Lennoxes here. How do I show it? Do you see the way this red Lennox has a 2 underneath his name? Or just to the bottom left of his portrait, and this one has 1? That means they have different passive abilities. So that's why that is. Yeah, I guess it is safety, is it? Yeah, it probably is just safety. And then in the case of this, like Concord was coming off the back of Guardians 1, and Guardians 2 wasn't released at the time, was it? Marvel wasn't at the stage where it was overplayed. It was getting there, but it wasn't overplayed at that stage. And then also Overwatch just came out and was like the first hero shooter, essentially. So... yeah, like it started at a different time, and it's just come out too late. And I think it's as simple as that. This character is really fun. Another thing is the names. Welcome, Cristiano. We're not playing Visions of Mana. I know the title is Visions of Mana. I got bored. Don't play the game. I don't like it. I got a code for Visions of Mana, though, I have to say that. But I don't like it. But now we're playing Concord. and we're talking about all of its problems, even though I really enjoy the game. And if we're talking about like money spent per time played, I've 13 hours in this game, and I spent €40 on it. Nah, see, I don't want to change. I probably should change the title. See, the thing is, I want to just keep this as a VOD, so that people can use it if they want to see impressions of mana, of visions of mana, because nobody watches the full VOD, you know. Oh shit! Wait, I need to pay attention here. So this character's like really mobile. Problem is, I am being absolutely hunted here, and I need to get to this health pack without dying. If she was smart, she would have known I was going to that. Nope. Okay, we are getting fairly destroyed here. Kill him! Yahoo! Drop your healing pad, please. Please? You're a healer. Help me. There is a health pack around here if I can scoot around without getting caught. Footsteps to the left here.
We have control of the signal zone.
Explodey knife! Oh! Yeah, they were saying some games take like 5 to 7 years to develop, so some company chasing trends make games feel outdated. Yeah, well, that I think that is that is just the be all and end all of it. Is this game is just chasing a trend, and it's just stuck in a different era. And like, you know, everyone talks about, oh, wokeness killed this game, and it's like, would you fuck off? No, it didn't. Like, bad character designs killed this game, and it's not the fact that they have pronouns in their names or anything. It's like you will always have people, like, you will have the people that see Overwatch and like, oh, Overwatch is woke, just because they have some like trans characters and stuff like that. Well, I don't know, they have like a non-binary character, whatever, but you know, they have lesbian, gay, they have LGBTQ characters, okay? And who am I changing to here? Go with you. And it's like, nobody brings that up with Overwatch because Overwatch has well-designed characters. So in a game like Overwatch, where they do have some inclusivity, it didn't make the characters good. So therefore, if they want inclusivity, it doesn't make the characters bad. The characters are just bad characters. And I think that's what it is. But people just, I don't know, there's serious brain rot out there, as they like to call it. Now, if only I had teammates on the point helping me, that would be brilliant.
Rivals have control of the zone. Take it back. New signal zone located.
All my favorite characters are taken.
Placing an air barrier.
The signal's on the move. We have control of the zone.
Reloading.
Steady.
Need a second to heal.
Air barrier for all.
There's like a little shield. I think it's 60 FPS. I think it's very smooth. Like, it's like, from that aspect, it's like really smooth, really polished. Get her! Oh. Do you know what? Let's try out the sniper.
Right on target.
Even though I'm awful with snipers.
The signal's about to move.
Oh, nearly got him.
Placing a trip mine.
Ah, that was definitely a headshot. Run! Save me, Jesus. Oh, feck. That's why you don't be the sniper when you can't use a sniper. Ah. Who am I changing to? I don't know. my two mains have been taken. All three. So I play Lennox. I play the soldier guy. And I play the healer. You would have thought a company would have made this kind of game with PvE given. Yeah. That's what we were saying earlier. That's what SD was like. Oh, I miss when games had tacked on multiplayer. And it's like, this multiplayer would work really good as a tacked on mode for an already existing game that has, I don't know, all these characters in like a PvE setting, and then you get to know the characters and care about them, you know? But instead, you got the heal. Instead, they're trying to force you to care about these characters, but there's nothing immediately interesting about them just by looking at them. Well, by looking at a lot of them, you know? There, as I said, there are some good ones. No, I haven't tried the Black Ops 6 beta. I didn't pre-order it, so. And I don't have Game Pass. Nor am I paying for Game Pass. Because the thing is, they've taken away... Now, this was stupid on Microsoft. On Microsoft's end. Oh, she got out. They used to do where if you got Game Pass and then just unsubscribe, they would give you... They just give you a refund. Or you get it for €1 and then they'd refund you the euro back. Or you just like lose out on your euro. Now they don't do it anymore. But yeah.
We're not gonna wallow. We're free gunners. We take it on the chin and keep going.
Okay, maybe next time I'll be able to play as the characters I want to play as. See, I want to change this crew out a tiny bit. Who don't I use? I don't really use you. I want to put in Star Child because Star Child can be useful. No, crap. Shit, who did I? Oh, no, and I didn't get to change it. God damn it. Guess we'll try out It Z. Yeah. And like, there's no... I know this game isn't a... you know, there's no payload mode. I think there should be a payload mode, or at least give us the option just to try it out. You know, maybe mess around with it. Because I think that's... It needs something to kind of give it a bit of a shot in the arm, you know? But obviously there's no room, like a pre-match room or something. But like, these characters need to speak to each other. If you want us to care about them, you know? I tried one game because I got a Game Pass Ultimate Code and it was way too sweaty. Yeah, that's what I was worrying about. I saw that movement. Like, I've already seen the Warzone sweats with the old movement. So I can only imagine what it's going to be like with the new movement. Oh, that's bad aim. Oh, get her! Yoo-hoo! Ah. Yeah, to be honest, with how this game was revealed and all that, I genuinely thought they were going to do... Oh! I genuinely thought they were going to do a kind of rollout similar to Destruction All-Stars, where Destruction All-Stars was supposed to come out as a launch title for PlayStation 5 as a full-price title. And they obviously saw the pre-order numbers or something and said, no, we're going to delay this and we're going to put it on PS Plus. Now, that game failed eventually. I don't actually think that game was very fun. So, I think that had it going for it too. Or going against it, should I say. Oh, that's bad aim. Oh, that's bad aim. Oh, that is awful.
Rival crew took Zone C. They've got control of 2 zones.
On my mark.
Yeah, my old squad, I effect up my squad. I don't have half the characters that I usually play as. I'm not just saying that because I'm bad. Yo, got a kill.
Blowing smoke grenade.
Need to dip here. Get some healing.
Healing up.
See, Fo, it's a weird spot for a developer to be in. Because you're gonna lose a lot of goodwill if you release a game, charge people for it, and then very quickly just give it to everyone else for free. And I understand, like, it needs to be done, like it does.
Healing up. Watch my back. Throwing smoke.
Enemy captured zone. They've got 2 zones.
Well, that wasn't a very good smoke bomb, was it?
Gotta keep up.
I hate that guy. He just has these, like, homing bullets. And all these, like, traps around that are just so annoying. Oh! God damn it. Let's try out
Prudent choice.
Duchess. I haven't actually played her much. As you can see, I'm literally not even level 2 with her. What do her abilities do? Oh, she has this wall. Okay. And what does this do? Or 1. Projects an area that implodes after delay. Enemies and blast take damage. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh god, she deals damage. Oh. New Quidditch game out soon. Didn't really care about it, but it's going to be on PS Plus. Mad excited. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of Harry Potter that much. I've always preferred Lord of the Rings. I mean, they're fine. I enjoyed Hogwarts Legacy last year, but it was fine. It was a very good open world game, but I don't really think it was overly amazing. Like, I think it's relatively unmemorable. Oh, she's won.
I'm healing up. Keep them off me.
And then, I don't know. Like, I love Rocket League, but that Quidditch game just kind of, just by the look of it, it just looks like a mobile multiplayer game, you know? Oh, she's low.
Come to me, silly fools.
Go. Got to go. See, I did finish it because I wanted to review it, but... And that was a game, actually, I bought it, beat it in like a weekend, and then traded it in, and like almost got all of my money back. Because of like GameStop extra trading, because I was like a platinum member or whatever. Even though GameStop doesn't exist in Ireland anymore, so. Do you know what? You can stay out there. Whoa. She is absolutely destroying us. Ah, they're just... We lost again. What do you think of CEX? I love CEX. I think they think it's a great shop. I have a feeling CEX won't be here for very long though. I just don't understand how their business model works, how they make money.
I have to admit, they were good. Damn good. This time, we got our plate.
I got a new variant unlocked. Okay, I'm not gonna re-queue. I'm gonna redo my crew here. Play a couple more. Then we use Star Child. That's everyone, isn't it? No, I want get rid of you. And one off. There we go. Okay, now what does your number 2 do? Extra munition, extended magazines, and additional grenades. Okay, that's big. That's very big. Hopefully they don't go because I enjoyed them. I would love to buy an old Xbox 360 and try out all the old iconic Xbox games. Because the Series S is great, but I miss... Yeah. I just don't use my Series S. I assume CEX will be around for, you know, at least the next 5 or 10 years. But I just wonder... I just really wonder about their business model. Please tell me I saved my settings. Yes. Yeah, and then like with here, like with Concord, it's just like Spectre, like Deadlock randomly came out in closed alpha, and it's ridiculously good. Like, it's crazy how good that is for an alpha. Spectre Divide, that new CS:GO kind of game that's made in conjunction with a lot of content creators like Shroud and stuff, that's coming out soon, like in the next 3 days. And then you have Marvel Rivals on the 6th of December, I believe. So it's like, things ain't looking good for this game, unfortunately. Yeah, Deadlock, like, I think I've already put, let me check my Steam. I think I could be 10 or 12 hours in Deadlock already. I've never put time into a MOBA, really. I know, I'm 9 hours into Deadlock. But I could see myself playing a lot of it. It's just with MOBAs, when the games are no joke, like, what? Minimum 30 minutes long. It's difficult to binge them, I think. I could play maybe 3 games. Like, all my mates were on last night, and we played like 3 games. And then, oh no, I think I played 4, and then I went off. I was like, I can't. And then I think they stayed on for another couple of hours and played a good couple of more games. Oh shit, that Lennox on the other team is level 31. Nerd.
Papa needs a new pair of boots. Let's do this.
Headed for the zone.
Like, Papa needs a new pair of boots. Let's do this. Like, could you get any more generic of a line? Okay, just give me healing, please.
Gotta heal. Hang on.
Thanking you.
Setting a lock on the signal. Hold the zone.
Ah, crap, I messed it up.
Catching up. Watch my back.
And you can shoot out of the shields, which is pretty interesting too. Doesn't make the shields anywhere near as useful as you would think.
Healing up, keep him off me.
Boom! Double kill. So this is what it feels like to have a team that's actually like using like their abilities and shields right and all that. And there's another thing about that, you know, that system, that crew system where you get the passives over a game, is that since I haven't died yet, like our team is winning, so it almost maybe kind of puts us at a disadvantage, maybe, because now they're going to have a team with people that have changed. Well, assuming they're playing the game right anyway. Oh, get him! Thank you. Ah, that was like a big 6 kill streak there. I was doing bits. Okay, I think we'll give Star Child a go. So yeah, kind of now they might have a team, if they're playing it right, of characters that have 2 or 3 cool or 2 or 3 passives, where we might only have a team of 1 or 2. But the increased mobility one makes a massive difference. Like this, Star Child feels like an absolute blob if you don't get the mobility upgrade on him. Okay, I think we just take a handy here, because we can't really do anything. Oh, feck. Ah, that's bad. That's bad.
New signal zone located.
I'm changing this dude.
We're falling behind. Get on the zone. The signal's on the move.
When does I think Rivals comes out? Oh, I can't move. Oh, that's pretty interesting.
Throwing a smoke screen.
I think it's out the 6th of December.
Rivals have control of the signal zone. Take it back.
Got him. Oh!
Identified a new signal zone.
Goodbye. I would assume after playing the beta of Marvel Rivals, I think it will survive, because it has the IP behind it, so everyone will be interested. It's free to play, so you'll get a lot of people in the door. And honestly, I think it seems like a game that is made by people that hopefully they kind of know what they're doing when it comes to making a PvP game. So we'll have to, like, obviously a game like that can live or die by its balancing and how much they mess with it, and if they can keep it supported and stuff. But like, it's gonna be massive. Like, imagine when it's like season 1 is season of I don't know, give me a hero that isn't already in it. I don't know, like, I can't think, because a lot of the big ones, like season 1 is season of Drax or the Guardians or something, and they're adding in like Guardian skins and a new Guardians map and a new Guardians hero. Like, that's just gonna be absolutely massive. Like, so. Oh god, I didn't know you could get around the back there. This is a tight match. Oh god, I'm 13-3. When you're good, you're good. Yeah, they do, like an infinite amount. Like the fact that one of the heroes they're bringing in is Jeff, that they've brought in is Jeff the Land Shark. Like, who the feck is that? He's a cool character though, I love him. Oh, he's low.
Grenade! Get down!
Ah, we lost. Ah. Okay, I will play 1 or 2 more. Maybe 1. We'll see how the next one goes.
We almost had them. Almost. They were too slippery.
Requeue. What's your main game at the moment? What am I playing? I don't really have, like, I guess Dragon Age Origins. Like, I finished Starfield there because I want to make a video at the end of this month, so I'm working on that now. I'm working on Dragon Age Origins because I want to make a video for next month. So yeah, probably Dragon Age Origins. And then I'm working on a video on Retribution for just like talking generally about like the old time, like the old school kind of PlayStation platformers, Ape Escape and Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter and all that. So I'm just kind of like dabbling in them. I'm not beating any of the games. I'm just kind of like sitting down and playing a couple of hours just to get reacquainted with the games. And then, yeah. So that's what I'm playing, really. What are you playing for? I assume you're just playing a lot of Arkham stuff, because we got a, you know, we got a real famous YouTuber in the chat now. Followed with hundreds of thousands of views on his videos. Congratulations, first of all. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's insane. Like, I'm looking at your channel now. 170, 83, 40, 213. That's, yeah. That's big. Do you have a Ferrari yet, Fo? Are you balling out like that? Like those YouTubers flashing your Rolexes and buying a big mansion in LA? Are you there yet? Seems definitely. Had to make sure my mic was muted in game there. Just randomly chatting to a lot of people. I like this map. This map is really good. That's the thing. A lot of all the maps in this game are actually great. I don't have a map. No, I don't think there's that many of them, but I don't have a map that's sort of like, oh, not this map again, you know?
I'll be at Zone C.
Enemy captured Zone A. Don't let them capture another zone. We took Zone C. Get control of it.
Like, he's not playing that much, but mainly Red Dead Redemption 2. I will eventually finish that game at some point. I think it's just too long. So, like, it's a great game. And yeah, that's the thing. See, the good thing is about what you're doing with your channel, Fo, is I assume you can, like, when you're done with the Arkham games, you could probably move on to either like the Spider-Man games or other DC games or other Batman games, like go back to the back catalogue of Batman games or do stuff on Suicide Squad. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of crossover with the audiences. We're getting absolutely hammered here. Yeah, we got a kill. See, this is the problem when I'm not on the high ground. Oh, I got stuck on a wall. Oh, behind us, feck. Yeah, get her! Oh. Oh, come on. Okay, we can swap now to...
We took Zone A. Get control of
I think
another zone.
this dude might do bits. Because he can dish out damage if you get up close. Oh! That happens a couple of times.
Rival crew took Zone A. They have all 3 zones.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, that probably, yeah, because that's the thing with like, with the amount of games that I cover, the amount of footage that I have to capture. So at least if you're covering like a handful of games, you can literally just capture the whole game, and then you won't ever have to go back and capture. Because I have an external hard drive, and usually how I do it is, when I'm done sort of with the main bulk of a game, I'll go through the footage and I'll keep like a couple of hours of the footage from the game, so that in the future, if I'm referencing the game, I'll be able to just use that footage and call back to it, you know? What is this crap? Like, oh my god. We're actually just getting destroyed here. Oh wait, my boy. I can't go back and change my free gunner because I've already picked it. Oh, and I've accidentally used my cooldown. Dead here, I think. No, I'm not. Yeah, 2 kills in 1 life. I'm a professional. Yeah, I was watching Dark Viper AU's video recently, and he has 214 terabytes. Yeah, well, I'm sure I would probably be at like the 15, 20 terabytes if I had everything in one spot. I don't. Like, I've deleted stuff, as I said, so I don't have everything. I know, like, what's it, the Angry Video Game Nerd talks about that, where he has like this weird archival system where he has everything archived. Oh, yes.
Need a hot minute to heal.
We took Zone B. Enemy captured Zone C.
Some dirt on it.
Oh, Jesus.
Cash it Linux. So many targets, so little time.
Spores everywhere. Excellent. We took Zone C.
For some self-care.
I'm actually lagging a bit.
Enemy captured
Yeah,
Zone
we just can't seem to hold on to 2 points. So the whole thing of this game is that you need 2 points to gain points. See, so you can do that, and sometimes if I'm desperate, I will just download my live streams or something. But YouTube compresses videos so badly that there is a noticeable difference in the quality. Like, there's the odd time where I'll use one of these streams in a video, and you can really see, the difference in the quality. Like,
Feeling the healing.
Rival crew, they have all 3 zones.
this dude's cool. Back. Okay. I think that's enough games for today. I have gamed, and did some more gaming, you know? So, yeah.
At least we can take a hit. And hey,
Visions of Mana.
we took a lot.
I don't recommend it. Concord. See, Concord is a game I'd recommend because it's fun, but, like, I can't recommend anyone spend €40 on it because more than likely you won't be able to get a game in a couple of months. And if you can, it'll be like, you know, 500 players that are all sweats. So unless you are one of these people that's like keeping up to date on all the new updates and playing it a load, then you know, it's probably not really worth your while. So, yeah. There we go. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I think it will be out on PS Plus in a couple of months, I'd imagine. I'm working on a Starfield video. I'm playing Dragon Age. I will be making a video on Retribution, about Astrobot, about PlayStation platformers, about Ratchet & Clank 2. Loads of stuff coming out. So, thank you, everybody, for watching. I'll see you all on the next stream/video. Thank you for watching, Miles and Fo and whoever's still in the chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Miles. Big time. How do I end this stream? There we go.